Hello, everybody. Welcome back to High Rollers D&D. We missed you. I missed you very specifically. I've recovered. I'm back. I'm feeling strong. I'm your Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Holmes, and it's time to play some D&D. I'm joined, as always, by my wonderful players. Woo! I love them. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here.
He's talking about us.
Let's start. Oh, there we go. I like it. No, but nice big wide. Let's do everybody. We can do everyone then. We've got Katie.
Everyone speak at the same time.
Don't do that. We've got Kim, looking extremely My Chemical Romance today. Love it. You can show your boots off in a minute. We've got Trot. And we've got Ree also rocking the MCR vibes,
Whoa,
I feel like.
went really hardcore MCR today.
Oh, with that denim shirt.
This black t-shirt.
Oh, well. Hold on. I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Right.
Show off your boot, Kim.
Just the one.
Just the one.
You can actually step off to the side now,
We
look.
can't handle both.
Oh,
That's
some
stomper.
boots. You could
God damn.
put your face in them.
Those are some balls.
Oh, that's what I look like.
So the last thing I'll see before you kick me in the face is me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Last time I didn't have a mangled
I also
face.
love the idea that you've reached the point as a goth, goth emo kind of kid where it's like, I could kick.
Oh, my hip!
I'll get you, whippersnapper.
Amazing. A lot of things to talk about today, and then a really big recap.
What have we got to talk about today, Mark?
We've got so much to talk about, Chris Trott. So much to talk about.
Well, get on with it then.
I will do. You didn't fucking interrupt me. I was about to. A bunch of stuff and a big recap because we did miss last week, and I want to kind of bring everybody back up to speed if you're catching up. Very, very quick thing to start things off. I just want to say thank you very much to everybody who stopped by Jasper's Game Day charity live stream on Monday that I did.
Nice.
That was for D&D Beyond for the charity Jasper's Game Day, which is suicide prevention and awareness charity. It's very important. Thank you very much, Brizzy Voices, who's a player in the Mistletoe game I play with Joe Fudge, who joined me, as well as Michael Galvis from D&D Beyond. They were our special guests. But also, for High Rollers fans, there were two very familiar faces in there as well, because Pumpcan and Fail Draws, our artists, also were in that game as well. And Yogg's Body and another lovely chap
We
called
had a very
Ian.
good time.
And they had a very lovely time. They were all excellent. It was a really fun mystery game in Eberron, and we raised, I think, about $1,500, $1,600 for charity.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
That's just in the stream, not even including the bids for those seats.
That's very generous.
So, very generous. And I did want to say very much thank you guys, all of you who joined us for that. Big announcement, though, now.
What's that?
Tom.
Sorry, I just punched the table.
That's fine. You were just so excited. Big announcement. So, some of you may have seen that individually, a few of us have said that we're going to TwitchCon Amsterdam, 16th to 17th of July. But there's more. There's more to it.
There can't be more than that.
There is. High Rollers, sans Kim, but with two guests. We'll be doing a live stage show on the main stage at TwitchCon Amsterdam. It will also be broadcast on Twitch for folks who can't attend the live show. But the reason I specifically am calling out, because it is a big announcement, this live show is going to be very special. As it will be a special prologue one-shot for Campaign 3.
Campaign 3!
Set in the brand new world of Althea and the Dragon Empire of Ilmera. This is going to be a first glimpse, a sneak peek into that brand new world. The players won't be playing their main characters for Campaign 3. Unless. Instead, there'll be characters who may turn up as NPCs in the main campaign later on. There's plans for cool costumes, set pieces, lots of audience and chat interactions. Myself and the TwitchCon team, including our friend Alyssa Grant, who was actually a guest player in Lightfall. We've been working really hard on this to make it really special and awesome. I really hope people come or watch it at home if you can. It is going to be a really cool thing to set up Campaign 3. It will be completely canon. It just won't be with the actual characters that are going to be featured.
It's going to be in the world.
It's going to be set in the world. The exact time and date is still being locked down, as well as finding out we might be doing some activities like meet and greets and stuff like that as well. But if you want to be there live for the first look at the new campaign setting, get a ticket and come on down to Amsterdam for TwitchCon Amsterdam, 16th, 17th of July. It's a big one, and I wanted to make sure, although we don't have the schedule locked in, I want to make sure people have time to get a ticket and decide if they want to come. And Twitch said, yeah, you can let people know about it. So thank you very much, Twitch.
Come along.
Nice.
Let's go back to something that Chris Trott said, Birdie shirt.
Birdie shirt's available, get it.
The Wish I Was a Birdie shirt. Go and buy it. It's our little special little Mimi shirt. It's only available for, I think, 13, 14 days. It's like 2 weeks, basically.
22nd?
Yeah. something like that.
May.
But like,
Spend money.
it's like it's got a timer, it's got a countdown on the web store.
Yeah.
If you don't buy it by the time that web store runs out, you ain't ever getting it ever again.
Very soft.
It's very soft and lovely.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same garment that we use for all of our t-shirts, which
Yes.
is
Nice.
a nice, nice spelling canvas.
burn the
Looks
past.
good on all genders. It's unisex.
It's unisex. It's very good. And yeah, you should, if you don't already, make sure you follow Rhiannon and burn the past for Rhiannon's own little shirt stuff that she's doing as
Indeed.
well. Certain skull boy shirt that went up recently. But yeah, so Birdie shirt, 2 weeks you got to buy it. And once it's gone, it's gone. TikTok. Want to give a huge shout out to everybody who's followed our brand new account on TikTok and has been interacting with our posts on there. Yogtok Sarah has been absolutely killing it with these. They are actually genuinely really funny. Tom has been watching one on repeat.
I actually like them.
Yeah, they are really,
It's weird.
he was so against it as well. He was like, TikTok.
I'm not going to do any dances.
Yeah.
Who do you think I am?
Now,
No.
his money don't jingle.
Now look at me.
Yeah.
You're a little flower.
No, they
Wait, TikTok.
Yeah.
Don't waste it.
Sarah's done such a good job of it, and she's been using clips that you've been posting in our Discord as well.
Yes, thanks for that.
Which has been great as well. When we mentioned it the last time we did an episode, I said it was High Rollers D&D. I was wrong. It's D&D High Rollers. We're in the process of trying to get the other one, but it's D&D High Rollers on TikTok. We occasionally jump in and post and comment and stuff like that, so come and join us on there. It's actually really funny and cool. And then the very last thing I was going to mention, we don't have Sam Gibbs with us today. He's normally our studio tech. We have the wonderful Laurie working for us, but it's because Sam Gibbs just proposed to his partner. Woo!
Hell yeah.
Hogs of War. So congratulations, Sam. If you're out there, you're not going to watch this, but we're going to say congratulations anyway.
Well done.
So
That's
that is
lovely.
it. Unless there is anything else I have forgotten to mention. Dear sweet players.
Butts.
Mark,
Yes.
I've known you a very long time.
Oh my god.
God.
Yep.
Can we play D&D?
Yes.
They never do in public, but
Beautiful.
You have put me on the spot, and we will talk about this later.
It's a public yes, a private no.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. I love that.
Pack
It's
your
a
bags.
public yes and a private no. Love that. No, we are going to play our intro, and then we'll do the recap, and then we're going to play some D&D.
Hell yeah. Wow.
Welcome back to Aerois. The champions of Aerois have plunged into the ocean depths in search of the Titan Valena's hidden demiplane and her final forge. Guided by the diamond construct D1, the Stormchasers' new magical upgrades allow the airship to dive deep into the broken valleys and chasms caused by the sundering of Aerois when the goddess Siaska was defeated. The ship comes to a dead end, but D1 reveals a hidden door and takes the ship into a vast, enormous cavern hidden inside the earth itself. Here, the party see giant stone columns with bridges of stone and hundreds of gemstone constructs working on an untouched city, repairing it, adapting it for unknown purposes. Sentinel Prime recognizes this city as Solvin, once her home and one of the great exalted domains of Aerois. The constructs, however, cannot reveal any details about the city or their task. Eventually, they come before a great edifice of a hunched elderly dwarven woman crouched around a dying forge flame, as if protecting it from an unseen wind with her own body. Here, the demigoddess Vala confirms that this edifice is the entrance to Valena's demiplane, and the party enter. With Valor's help, they find a grand magical forge with an enormous anvil at its core, and behind it, a titanic dwarven woman waits for them. Valena reveals that before Siaska transformed into the cradle that protects Aerois, she gave her 2 tasks to complete. One was to prepare a tool for those who would rise up to face the enemy, and the other was to create a contingency to keep the hope and dream of Aerois alive and to protect it from the eternal darkness that threatens it. For centuries, Valena despaired and mourned, until, to help find her creativity, the party triggered events that set much of this story in motion. And watching them, Valena was inspired once more. As one of her tasks now nears completion, the other is still to be done. Normally, she would have called on her fellow Titans, but with 2 gone and the others lost to rage and grief, she must instead ask the champions to help her in forging the Starseed. This work requires them to attune 6 foci to key elements of the Starseed: memory, magic, spirit, knowledge, connection, and hope. Doing so whilst Valena forges the incredibly powerful artifact's form is made difficult due to surges of magic and tasks that must be completed. Struggling to attune the 3rd foci, Maximilian Taldros and Ayla work together to complete it, but their failures have cost Valena much of her strength, and 3 foci still remain. With Lucius locked to 1, the task falls to Nova, Quill, and Sentry. And that's where we're going to pick back up. But before we get to your turns in this sort of pseudo encounter, I'd like to ask, do you guys trust me with something?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Wait, hang on. No, wait. No, that was just a snap
Trust me?
answer. I
Is it-
trust you with my life.
Okay.
Is it my firstborn?
No.
You have one?
Because you can have him.
I don't want them.
Okay.
Unless it's Milo.
No one does.
So, as you prepare
Wait, what
yourselves,
was
as you prepare yourselves to continue reforging the Starseed, you see Valena buckle to her knees. Her arm drops and the hammer clatters to the ground. Her graying hair now almost white. Powering the memory foci, forging the seed, it's too much. I cannot. Before you can speak or act, a bright violet light flares in the center of the room. You feel your skin raise and a sensation of something moving you, though you remain stationary. As you look to the anvil, you see Vala hovering in the air. Around her are a number of spoked wheels, geometric circles, and almost clock-like designs of shimmering purple magic. The air around her seems to distort in triangular patterns, and you begin to see reflections of the forge in them. You see yourselves, though there are minor differences and changes. You see a more empowered Valena in these spaces as well. With a grunt, Vala throws her hands to the side, and the wheels and the circles and the clocks begin to spin in different directions. The triangular windows of space flash. No, the odds were against us from the start. Somewhere, someday, things would be different. And as Valena finishes her motion, the lights stop, the magic vanishes, and you seem to be in the same chamber, but Valena's strength has returned. Instead, her hammer now hovers over the memory foci, and a statue of Ayla is underneath it, tethered to the foci. Lucius, Ayla, and Maximilian, you no longer feel yourselves tethered to the foci that you are at, but you do feel that your strength and your mind slightly weakened. So to explain this, I had some thoughts about the encounter that we last did, and I wasn't happy with some of the things in it. I didn't think that some of it was fair, and also some of it wasn't very interesting or exciting. So and luckily you guys happen to have a demigoddess of time and space. So
Well, yeah.
to kind of retcon some of the things, I'm not going to change everything, but to make it a bit more fun and a bit more fair, I have made some slight changes to this encounter, right, for these last 3 foci. So everything's still the same, with these exceptions. Those of you who previously couldn't leave your foci, you can now move away from it, but you cannot attune to another foci. You are locked to the one you're attached to. You can't help do the other ones. you have disadvantage on any ability check that cannot be countermanded. If you have advantage from rage, you still have a disadvantage on the check, right? Because you are basically tethered to this thing and it's draining your strength while you're attached to it. Lucius, for you, any concentration spell will only last until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
Like, it's literally, you get 1 round of a spell, you can't maintain concentration on it. You won't ever like fall out the sky or just drop down, it's not gonna hurt you, but you can't keep concentrating on spells while you have this effect. The other thing is, previously, Vala's abilities, I was like rolling a saving throw for her every round, and it just meant that she didn't get to do anything because I kept failing it. That's not fun. So instead, each of her 3 abilities, the ability to grant haste, to grant a reroll, and to create 2 portals, are now 1-use abilities, right? She can use them once, and then they're done. Any of you can choose to use that at the start of your turn before you take any other actions.
Once for the entire encounter.
Entire encounter.
Right, okay.
You can use it and then it's gone, right?
Yeah.
You can use it at the start of your turn. If you do anything else, if you move, bonus action, you can't use that ability. It has to be the first thing you do on your turn.
Okay.
All right? And just to update you on where the current things stand, you have 3 foci infused, memory, magic and spirit.
Yep.
But you have also had 2 failed infusions, and it cost a lot of Valena's strength to take the one that Ayla was attuned to, right? This means the Starseed and Valena can withstand 2 more failures or 60 points of damage to the device.
Easy.
Right?
Okay.
So let's keep that in
3
mind.
foci, 2 failures.
The stunt with Max and Ayla working together cannot be repeated. Like, that took all, like, what Valena's strength she had, that took all of that to give that, like, the ability for them to work together on it. All right?
Okay.
And also, any previous effects that were in place, like the tasks, any sort of, like environmental effects, they are now all gone. These pillars disappear.
The ice wall?
The ice wall would probably disappear, I think, at this point.
Okay.
Just because of the Vala's magic would have reset those kind of things.
So what did she just like take elements of the current timeline and just bring them back into a rewinded,
Don't know.
a rewound
You don't know.
multiverse? That's a different dimension, Valena.
Maybe.
Have you been to the cinema recently, Mark?
I have, but I don't think that was not particularly influencing.
I haven't seen.
Vala's powers I have known since the beginning of this campaign. So, but if you want to make an Arcana check for me, Quill, you can absolutely make an Arcana.
I mean, I definitely want to identify
check. What happened?
what the hell that was. Yeah.
Yes.
A huge 9 plus Arcana, 17.
17. It's difficult to tell. Like, what just happened was make a religion check actually for me. It was Arcana. I think religion would also. There's like 2 separate elements to this.
Religion. What is my religion? 16 plus 2. Damn.
So 18.
No,
16 total.
yeah.
Clearly, what Vala just used was her true power. Like her powers, like her, every god, Hesper was the god of magic, right? Or knowledge. Valena is the god of the forge, the god of like creation. Vala's divine spark is connected to time and space.
Dialga and Palkia.
I don't know what those are.
Pokemon.
But, you've seen Vala use abilities to, like, shift things around, teleport, create portals. She's managed to kind of create that bubble that allowed you to go through the volcano. Even that was, like, not just teleportation magic. She was actually phasing out it in time. The lava and the heat in time was being phased out. What she's just done there, you don't think she can repeat anytime soon.
Okay, that was
incredibly powerful. But it basically, best guess for you, Quill, and like Nova, I think you don't even need to make a check. You can kind of figure some of this stuff out. She brought in elements of like variant timelines to basically like where like your odds were better, like that things were different. The forge worked differently, and she's brought in elements of those. Maybe in a different timeline, you guys came here earlier when she had more strength. Maybe you came here later when some of the forge was different, or
My brain.
Yeah. Or like maybe not even necessarily connected to you guys, just like a different period in the Forge's life or in Valena's life. She's brought in elements of that as well.
That's cool.
It's also Mark's way of canonizing changes that he's made.
If this is what a retcon is going to look like,
yes,
I want that all the time.
But I'm also doing this, and like I know we want to crack on with the game here, but like if you're a fellow DM, it's totally a good thing to reflect on a session and be like, I wasn't really happy with how that worked, or that didn't seem that fun. change it. Like we're all here to have fun, right? And like actually make it a good game. So don't ever feel like you can't change something. So
I'm already in.
Christoph making a face. I don't know.
I'm ready.
Okay.
It was cool before and it's cool now.
Yeah, it was a lot of talking. We can jump into it now.
Right.
We're going to start with a brand new top of the initiative.
Yes.
Oh, that was the other thing I was going to change. Rather than you guys having set initiatives, you now basically, Valena will take her turn. Something will happen. You can then decide who goes in what order.
Okay.
Right?
Cool.
So again, that was another thing I wanted to change. I forgot to put it in my notes, but yeah, because like the way the initiatives were working, it was like Lucius was stuck not being able to do stuff half the time.
Yeah.
People were like not able to like contribute in ways that they wanted to. And in a normal combat, that's fine, you know, that's part of it, right? But in this, you guys should be able to pick who goes when and like, oh, if I go now, I can do this thing which will help Nova do that thing and da 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 da. I want it to be more like that.
So we choose a person and they take their combat turn.
Yeah, and then and then somebody else goes, but you get to pick
Nice.
the order that goes in, right?
Hell yeah.
So for Valena's turn sheet to prep the next foci, which I believe is, unless somebody wants to beat me to do it, knowledge. There we go. To prep that, she will begin continuing, and she just says, "I do not know what you have done, little sister, but I feel my strength return. We must continue with the Starseed." And she is going to begin a task, which will create an effect. So as she begins forging the Starseed, and she's brought out all these different tools, like a chisel and like pliers, and she's bending the metal around this seed-like shape. You begin to hear this high-pitched frequency, this high, intense ringing that resounds around. You are all deafened as long as this sound is in place, and you can hear this like constant ringing, and there's going to be some thunder damage at the start of your turn. Valena's voice, being a Titan, does manage to break through that slightly deafened. You hear it in your mind, and you hear her say, "Something in the Starseed is giving out a harmonic imbalance. We must find a way to cancel it. We must find a way to balance it and equalize it." She doesn't tell you how to do that. It's going to be up for you guys to figure out. You need to complete this task before you can begin attuning the next foci. And at the start, whoever takes a turn, you will take 5 thunder damage. So assume, yeah.
I presume we all have to take a turn, right? Yeah.
You do. Unless, so you might have resistance, or like maybe somebody will cast a spell to like, you know, give you resistance or something. So I didn't want to just be like, right, everyone take 5 damage now. But unless you're planning to do anything to change that.
Okay.
So how does one rebalance the harmonic resonance?
Could I make an Arcana check or?
If you'd like to take your turn, if you want to have like Nova go first and like basically spend like your action trying to like figure this out, absolutely.
So you are going to be tuning to knowledge.
No, I'm attuning to connection.
I think Quill was going to do knowledge.
Willy boy is
Yeah.
knowledge boy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. If I remember, it's knowledge,
Yeah, of course.
connection, hope
Hope,
is the one
yeah.
at the top.
We just need to figure out how to get Sentry way up into the Hope one.
Portals.
Portals.
Point.
So, do you want to take your turn now, Nova?
Yeah, I might as well.
And you want to spend an action basically to like think,
Figure
have
out
have
what
a think.
this is. Have a think.
Yeah. So I think just a straight up intelligence check on this one. So just D20 plus your intelligence. No rerolls or anything. 11 total.
I have Indomitable, but I think that's for
Saving throws.
Yeah.
I'd let you use it. If you want to use a use of Indomitable to reroll this ability check, I'd let you.
You know what? I will.
Because this isn't a combat encounter, so that ability is going to be useless if you don't use it in this. I wouldn't let you do this in like a normal situation, but...
And that one.
Oh, right, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, this ringing is so piercing, Nova, as you're trying to think, but it's like distracting your thoughts. It's really hard. Cancelling it, like, your brain's so scattered, it's hard to think. Like, playing a really loud noise, like, but you don't even know what frequency it would need to be. Like, yeah, it's hard to figure out. You still have a move and a bonus action.
I think I'll start moving.
Sure.
Let me just very quickly check what the teleport. I think to swap with Tiangong, I think it's. I don't think there's a range on it.
Okay.
I'll start moving towards
back.
the back one anyway, just in case.
15, 20, 25, 30. So you could walk past Valena as she's like bending this metal, and every time she like touches it, this ringing is just echoing through the forge itself.
Yeah, I think that's it from me.
Okay.
Sozzle pops, dudes.
So it's pops. All right. So who would like to take their turn next?
I don't mind going next.
If you've got an idea, go for
I
it.
have an idea. Lucius is going to do a very similar thing.
Okay.
Because I have an idea, but
Okay.
whether Lucius is good enough to think about it, I'll do an intelligence check.
Okay, I mean, if you've got the idea, Lucius can have the idea. You don't ever have to roll for, like, if my character would think of the same thing I have. Like, I
Okay.
trust you guys not to metagame.
So, the idea is, Lucius hears a ringing right before you go deafened.
Yeah, like, I mean, you are deafened because this
Because
ringing is
you hear
so
a loud
loud.
noise.
Like, yeah.
He's thinking if there's a certain spell he can do, and he's trying to think back on all the spells he's cast that has a similar pitch.
Do you think you have a spell like that?
I'm thinking of like casting one that's like either like a beam or something like that that's like sends out a specific frequency.
You tell me what spell you'd like to cast.
Tasha's Caustic Broom.
So just like this column of acid, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. So you want to cast the spell and try and, like, match it?
Yeah.
You can do anything else? Just cast a spell?
I will. Actually, Tasha's Caustic. It's not a single target, so I can't twin it to like boost it. I wonder if doing some meta magic will like enhance its
Maybe.
sound.
Yeah, maybe. That sounds smart to me. You just tell me what you'd like to do.
Smart guy. How do I use this?
That's a great question. I mean, if you want to, like, you could, because you've not done anything yet. If you want to think about it and have somebody else go, you can have a think about it.
Yeah, I'll think about what
Sure.
to.
Yeah, because you've not asked me a question or like rolled a dice yet.
I
so-
think I have an idea.
Sure.
What?
Nobody can hear you.
Yeah. Nobody. Yeah.
I can read your lips.
Oh.
That's true. Yeah. So Quill does like
Speak.
understand what you've said. Also, any telepathic communication still functions.
Good thing we're all wearing those.
Yeah.
Sentry's got one.
Yeah.
Sentry and Lucius. I think,
Shouting
can
into the
communicate.
void.
Did I speak through it though? Probably not.
No. You probably just. So anybody. Everyone's looking intently at their character sheets.
I mean,
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I'm annoyed because I have an idea, but I can't do anything.
Well,
so.
again, like, is this like Kim has an idea that like you think would work, or were you rolling as Nova to like actually like get information you don't know out of me?
I had two ideas when I began my turn. One was to do an Arcana check, and the other was to cast a spell that made noise.
Okay, well,
So-
next turn, save the cast. If nobody else can come up with an idea, maybe you can use that on your next turn. Yeah, that's that's still a thing. Because the kind of check, I would have told you stuff that you don't know, so that works. But if you have an idea, you don't need to think like, oh, I have to roll for it.
Okay.
I think. All right, Ree, if you think you've got an idea, or like you want to take your turn.
Yeah, I was just going to cast Aura of Purity on myself and then protect people around me in a 30-foot radius from being deafened.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Toy.
being deafened or
Has an advantage on saving throws against effects that cause...
I would say that it would stop
Definitely.
this effect then. I would say that would actually.
Just allow us to concentrate,
Oh shit.
fix it.
Is that everyone?
Yeah. Okay.
Except-
so everybody in a 30-foot radius. So
So 30 foot, I think.
I
is
can get to
gonna-
Nova.
I wish I had like a little measure.
5, 10...
yeah, I think it's everyone
10,
but
15,
Lucius.
20,
Yeah.
30, you won't hit
Lucius is
Lucius,
just out.
and you'll hit
Okay.
everybody else. Yeah, so like around Sentry, we see this like bubble, I imagine, like a kind of like a sphere kind of projects out from you, and it's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't reside, it doesn't remain, but there's this faint aura of magic. And that ringing, it's still there, but it's lessened to the point where like suddenly you're like, oh god, you can now hear and speak to each other and stuff like that. You are no longer deafened.
So you counter it with your Sentinel boom box playing the brown
The other
note.
thing, Sentry, is if you moved over, you probably could have caught Lucius in that as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Like if you had gone over like 5, 10, 15, 20, I think that's still 5, 10. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah. I think
Nice, yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Maybe here, I think you kind of catch. Yeah, I'd say,
Cool.
yeah, I'd say if you move there, you can catch
Nice.
everyone. All right.
Everyone.
So you're no longer deafened. The thunder damage will still take place though. So this is protecting you from like the intense ringing, but like it still hurts. It's almost like vibrating through your body. All right. That was Sentry. You're done. Bonus
Yep.
action or anything?
No, I'm all good.
All right. Cool. Leaves us with 3 left.
Do you
You can always ask me a question. You can always like, can I make a check? Can I do this? Can I do that?
So
We've had 2 weeks off. Got to get back in the groove.
Yeah, I think I've,
So
yeah.
my warhammer, and when I'm raging, it crackles and thunders with the power of a raging storm. That's thunder, and this is doing thundery things. Could I just try and either expend a charge on my hammer, or a rage charge to like focus on my rage so intently that it makes it louder, and the crackling coming from me and the hammer actually like matches the frequency of this thing potentially.
Interesting. Roll for me. We'll make it a check. You use a rage.
Okay.
And then roll a constitution ability check for me. Now you will have disadvantage because you're currently infused. But yeah, roll it with constitution. So just d20 plus your con mod. Oh, it's not a super high DC, but let's make it a dice roll.
14.
14, yes, 14's fine. It was only DC, I think DC 13 because it's a bit of shit. So you do, like, Ayla, you kind of feel like you channel that rage and you almost try and force more lightning out of your body and in through this hammer that you've got this deep connection to and you know is attuned to your own magic and power. And it does begin to hum. You kind of hear this like a continuous roll, peal of thunder that's just repeating over and over and over again. This kind of like humming vibration noise. And anybody who's watching, I would say Quill with your perception, and then Nova with your knowledge of magic, and Lucius, I would say as well, with your getting your knowledge of magic. Like you can almost see like Ayla's hammer's head is vibrating, and it might be useful. Like it itself is not strong enough to counter this like intense, powerful ringing. But you think there's something that it might be able to do, but there's like something that's quite missing from this equation, right? There's like an element here that like you're not quite getting. Like the hammer alone isn't enough, but it's probably gonna help if you can figure out some, it'll probably be useful in some way.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say that's probably like a bonus action, Ayla, if you still want to move, if you want to do anything.
Can I like shout to Nova and be like, what can I do? I'm doing this. Is it helpful?
It's a hammer.
And just as a reminder as well, you can now move away from your foci.
Is there anything like metal near me that is not the thing? It's the forge.
Metal near you, no. Well, there's some gates. There's like some kind of like metal kind of portcullises near where you first arrived in the fortress. There's no doorway.
Yeah.
But it's almost like these metal bars that stretch up into the nothingness of space that seems to be above you.
Can I go over to one of them and hit it
Yeah, absolutely.
to try and make it ring out?
So you'll need to jump over, but that's easy enough for you to do. I can't reach. It's the one design flaw is I'm small. I'm 5'7". So yeah, you jump across, you land next to this thing, and yeah, make a I wouldn't say even make an attack roll, just roll damage for me. No, roll an attack roll to see if you crit. But it's like AC 10. You're gonna hit.
I did actually crit.
All right. Okay. So
Legit.
roll damage for me.
Legit crit.
This will be thunder damage rather than bludgeoning damage.
Oh, okay.
Because you have done this thing to like, you're almost like turning the hammer into thunder damage.
With normal crit rules.
With normal crit rules, absolutely. Brutal critical, everything applies.
40. I
Yep.
think now. Is it 40? Yeah, it's 40, right?
If it's 4d10 that you would roll, then it becomes 40, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's 40.
This is brutal
I just need
critical
to check.
3 times.
It doesn't happen that often. Wait, yeah.
Hey, miss, I can make 6 attacks around.
I know,
No, I'm
right?
just looking at my natural one on that.
Yeah, I mean that-
I'm just trying to see if this dice is nice dice. Or
Dice
if
man.
it's
Fix that
got
dice.
jail.
We should just, I mean, like, there's the Will Wheaton curse. I also
Yeah.
think that we should sort of like the requation or something like that.
That's,
which is like,
Will Reeton.
real Wheaton.
Real Reeton
Yeah,
curse.
it's 4. It's 4.
Real reason.
So it's
So,
40 plus another
40.
4d10. Plus all your modifiers.
47 plus 9
Yep, 56.
plus 3
59,
9.
plus 3
62,
plus 11
70,
73. Nice.
plus
6 lightning,
plus 2.
another 8, so 80 points.
Yeah.
Yep, 80 points of damage. So Ayla leaps across, she brings the hammer and in one smooth motion slams it against these metal bars, and the bars don't break. First of all, Ayla, like, you hit these bars super hard, and it's like they just absorb the impact, like the one ring when it hits the ground. The hammer just stops dead. But all of you hear this ring, this kind of high-pitched, like, it's like the vibrations of the thunder damage go up through these bars, And then there is this moment where that high-pitched ringing from the Starseed and Ayla's ring from hitting these bars, and then it becomes silence. And then nothing comes back. And you hear Valena like, that's it! You've done it! That has cancelled out the imbalance. We can proceed.
Awesome.
What? I told you I'm good at hitting shit.
All right.
That's Bose.
Nice. So it's
My AirPods are pretty good.
Just the tinnitus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
wah, wah.
Right. So we have
how much
Lucius
you're
and Quill still have full turns. This is like, I would say this is the opportunity because you know that the foci is going to be next. This is where you want to start thinking about like, how can you get there? How can you help the person make that check?
So I can't do it this.
You can't do it this turn. You have to wait till Valena takes her turn to set it all up.
I mean, yeah, I may as well take mine then and move up to the knowledge foci.
Yeah, you can reach there around with your movement because it's like a flight speed.
And I'm also going to yell to everyone. What do I need to do? What did you guys have to do?
Think of stuff. I don't know.
Ah, I'm good at that.
Remember things.
Okay, memory,
All right.
my strong point.
Okay. Yeah. You love it.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything else? You've only used your move action.
I've used so many spells that I think I'm just going to
Have a think.
get ready to
All right.
do this and hope that Lucius takes a very long turn so that I can think of something.
Okay.
I don't know what it's going to be yet, though.
Oh, I know.
No. All right. So no action, no bonus action.
No, just
Okay.
why?
No reason.
Okay.
All right.
Position.
So Lucius.
Lucius is just going to move up to Sentry.
Okay.
Really long turn.
He's going to walk there.
No bonus action?
Bonus action.
Curious.
Moral support.
Oh, I should have done that.
You want to dash, Lucius, to just get next to Sentry, or are you happy with just one?
I think this is all right.
Yeah. No action.
I will hold an action.
Okay. Yeah.
If it doesn't go well
Okay.
with Quill,
Yes.
I will dash towards the pillar.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you'll make a run for it if it goes. It looks like
I'll
it's getting
try
badly.
and take over, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know it won't work. You can't.
no,
Yeah,
max
but
layer won't
I'll
work
head
again.
towards it to
Just to try and help in
someone
someone
else,
yeah,
yeah.
do something. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes character sense. I just want to make sure you don't think that that can happen again. All right. I will also just, again, because it's a new round, I will remind you, at the start of your turn, you can activate any of Vala's powers. Like at the start of your turn before you do anything else, you can activate any of her powers.
I want to
You get
portal
haste
5
for free. You can do that if you want.
Nah.
So she can conjure 2 portals that are linked. She can give you haste, or she can give you a reroll, basically, on an ability check.
Who's left to attune to a pillar?
Me.
And me.
Me!
I'm really
Get
far
ready.
away.
Okay.
Get ready for connection.
No, knowledge.
Knowledge.
So as Lucius says that, Valena,
I shouldn't be doing memory.
the metal finishes wrapping around the Starseed, and she will lift up. It almost looks like almost like a little hand drill, like a wood carver's hand drill. And you see that she's pulling out all of these tools, and they're beautifully made, almost like they're made of energy. And she brings that up, and then she directs it towards the foci, this column with this crystal embedded into it. And as she points it, it fires out like a kind of like link of energy that connects it to the Starseed. And then she will call out and say, "The foci is ready. Make your preparations. Make sure you are prepared, Kila Kadkala.
Oh, I don't know what I need to be prepared for, but okay.
Rely on your friends if need be." And I hand it over to you. You guys can take this in any order you wish. You don't have, Quill doesn't have to go first.
It's an action to.
It is an action to infuse.
Okay.
I feel like it works for you to try it first, and then we've got a whole round to try
Yeah.
and help if it goes.
Seeing if I can
Do you
bonus it.
think it would help if you had 4 Luciuses around you?
You'd be very distracted.
Go,
though.
Quill! Go, Quill!
I mean, there might be creative uses of spells. Like,
Yeah.
there's spells like enhance ability, guidance, bless. Like, there's tons of stuff you can be doing to like boost.
Mine are all blast.
Want a bless? I can pop a bless for you.
Maybe I should have done that with my action last turn.
I could change gravity around you.
Oh,
Need another oscillator.
maybe. Yeah, if I'm oscillating, I might be.
Help you to remember, Barry, you know?
Yeah, when the blood is flowing
To your head.
everywhere. No, I don't really have any bonus actions or anything, but
Well, you don't have to take your turn first. Like Sentry said, she could bless you.
Give you a bless.
Want to pop a bless?
Pop a bless.
Pop a bless on you.
Pop a bless?
Pop a bless, yeah.
Yeah, pop a bless.
Yeah, I'll move up closer to Quill then, and I'll give him a bless, and then my Aura of Purity will go to Concentration.
With this range, you could give the bless to Nova as well, because I think it's 3 creatures, right? Yeah, and then yourself could be the other one.
Yeah. Do a level,
Just level 1.
Level 1 bless, yeah.
So this is
1d4 to ability checks.
Yeah.
D4. Okay.
And attack rolls, I think, or saving throws and that. But I'm going to say it counts for ability
Yeah,
checks.
attack rolls and saving throws.
I'll say it counts for ability checks.
Nice.
I'll also, before I do this,
Yes.
I'll move round a little bit just so I can feel Sentry's aura.
Her aura
Push it to you.
No,
like the saving throw aura.
Saving throw aura.
You kind of have to fly up in the air.
Oh, can I not just sidle up to the wall?
The wall is kind of like slightly away, like the square edges of that platform on the map aren't actually there. It's like a rounded gate.
yeah.
It's like a cage that completely surrounds the pillar. You have to go up the stairs to the side to get to it. But you could fly at the top of the gate, and then that would catch you in the aura.
If it helps, it helps. It's a thing.
Is the height of the gates accurate?
No, the stairs and the gates are it's much higher up. It's like that's why Quill flying up to it was quite good, because I was asking him how like the movement wise. It's probably from where Sentry is. Quill's probably about, I would say, 30 feet up in the air.
Okay.
Touch, please.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Okay. Tom's taking his turn. I'm gonna take it. So.
Oh, the turns. It's fine.
That was the plan. I was going to go near the top so everyone can react to my failures.
I was just going to press the digitation your brain.
Oh.
Mending on your brain.
I'm going to cast Create Bonfire on you.
Set you on fire. That will help. Quill, as you touch this crystalline material inside the pillar, you feel everything go still. And you suddenly find yourself in an expansive white space. Nothing around you. And you hear this voice calling out the knowledge of the lost, of craft, of history, of the world. Bed in what you would share with others. Tell me the history of Aerois. Tell me what it means to you. That is your question. So this is, as Quill, you have to infuse this thing with, let me just get my knowledge here.
Okay.
Tell me fucking everything immediately.
The story of everyone and everything.
As a character, you need to think and focus on knowledge. What that means to you, memories of things related to knowledge, like it is your interpretation of what the foci of knowledge should be imbued with.
Okay.
But it needs to be from Quill's perspective. It's like things that Quill has seen or knows or has learned or that kind of stuff.
You just have to remember a thing.
You just have to remember everything. It's no big deal.
It's basically the same.
I would. Do I have my tome?
No.
I don't have my tome.
The tome
Hindrance.
is within you.
Slight hindrance.
Like you almost realize you don't have a physical form here. Like you are here, but like you can't look at your body or anything like that.
I will visualize as hard as I can the memory of Kaylee's Rest, the Temple of Hesper there, when it burned down, and not the knowledge contained within that temple, but the fear and sadness of the local populace when they realized that the temple had been destroyed. And try and focus on the idea of the missing knowledge and the fear of knowledge being lost to such a reckless act. And kind of try and focus that into a way of the importance of knowledge in Aerois and the reliance on it as well.
What does that mean to Quill, though? Like, yeah, that's a memory Quill has, and like you say, like it's like the fear the people of Kaylee's Rest had, but like, what does Quill feel about it? Like, was that knowledge important to Quill? Like, did Quill was Quill afraid of that knowledge being lost?
Not necessarily the facts within, but the knowledge of the teachings of the current events and the actions of that people being the immediate knowledge to learn and respond to the event.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
oh god, the fear of losing the past.
That's something Quill cares about.
Yes.
Okay. What does knowledge mean to Quill?
Everything.
In what way?
I wanted to say power, but that's just such a tropey thing. Knowledge is power, but it isn't.
So what is it?
It's history, and it's friendships, and it's the future, and the past, and the actions people take, and the reasons people live. It's everything. It's everything. My answer is everything.
Okay. All right. Fear of losing the past. This kind of sense of fear, this sense of duty almost to preserve it. I don't think this is intelligence.
Thanks.
I'm also not sure it's wisdom. This fear is a very personal thing. Technically, fear is often countered by a wisdom saving throw. It could be wisdom. Knowledge is everything. Make a wisdom ability check. Just your wisdom modifier. You don't know anything else, but you can add 1d4 from the bless spell.
Okay. +6.
Let's have a look. Let me have a think about this DC, because I have criteria here. How personal was it to the character? How impactful has it been in the character's life? How well it matches the theme of the foci?
I want to do the curveball of the missing knowledge rather than just like the library.
Yeah. No, I didn't say I didn't like the answer. I'm just keeping my poker face on. All right.
got this.
Ability check plus 1d4. Wisdom.
Okay.
Do you have any portents?
I do not.
Yeah.
But 11 +6, so 17 plus a d4 +4,
21.
21.
There are moments where that fear rises up in you, and it shakes some of that belief. You do start to worry, what happens if you lose that knowledge? Hesper's gone. It's on you now. There's nobody left. You're the most powerful priest of Hesper that still remains, and he's gone. Doesn't that make knowledge your responsibility now? And then you can almost feel that magic from Sentry, like her metal hand on your shoulder. And you feel that fear dissipate a little. You feel that sense of responsibility still there, but there's that assurance that you're not in it alone. And you feel that you infuse to the foci and it connects.
Yes.
Man, I feel like I just said a lot of stuff, and then you, like a therapist, was just like, "Oh, so you're talking about this, right?" Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, might have been I've had 2 weeks to think about this encounter a bit more. Make it a bit more interesting. You did it. So yeah, you guys watch. For you, it is just a brief moment. Quill touches this thing, and then immediately it flares to life. There is very similar to Quill's magic, this golden light feathers you almost drift around the column now that it's been infused, and there is this tether that goes from Quill's heart into the crystalline material. Very much like the others now, Quill, you can move. You have disadvantage on all ability checks. You cannot re-infuse to another foci, and any spells that have concentration only last until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
So you find yourself like
Nice.
weakened, like your mind distracted, like this foci is still pulling things from you. Like that was like a connection. Now it's almost drawing out the facts, the figures, the knowledge. You can feel like not taking them from you, but you feel it like copying it from your mind. And then for Ayla and Lucius, by the way, just to kind of give you a bit of insight into this now, how this works. So for Ayla, it's like all those times when you fought, like you can remember those memories. It's taking like how to wield a weapon, how to strike an opponent when they block your blow, how to climb a mountain, like all of these physical things that you know or you've experienced, like you feel it copying this information from you. And you also are still heavily connected to Maximilian, and it's pulling the same things from him. And I think actually, this is a good thing. Actually, I'm thinking about this now. You start to see stuff that you begin to recognize, and like it's almost like you see Max's memories, but they tie into your own because you see him fighting alongside other wild elves. You see him fighting alongside other wild elves that, like, you see in the distance one that looks a bit like you. Like in the distance, Max didn't notice them. Maybe he just glanced past them, but like you saw yourself. You see codes to like a base on Gideon Prime, and you remember that code, even though you're seeing it in Max's mind. You see all of these different things. You see his training. You see him training as a young boy. Like, you see memories of Max as an orphan in Gideon Prime, like on the streets, like fighting for survival, being taken in and trained as a knight. Like, you see all these different things. Like, you see his homeworld being destroyed, and him being saved by one of the Valkyrian ships that was taking refugees from him. You see all these different things, and it's copying these memories of these like moments of survival and courage and anger and rage and hatred and battle, copying all of this stuff. And for Lucius, for you, being connected to magic, every spell that you've cast, every magic effect that you've encountered, it's like copying these effects from you. It's like learning from you.
All the ones I succeeded on, right?
Even the ones you failed. Things that you've witnessed other people, like, it's copying memories of, like, you remember Zarkira casting that meteor spell, and you see like, it almost like in your mind, you can feel like you can see everything in the forge, but at the same time, like, another memory is playing at this exact same time. You see her intricate hand gestures, you see her lips, and you can almost read the words she's saying. But it's copying that information, like it's just taking that information away from you. Every time you've cast a spell, that feeling of how you summon the magic is being copied. Every time you've seen Quill summon his divine magic, when Hesper burst into the billions, infinite number of Hespers, like all of this stuff, it's copying as if it's learning about magic and the different ways it functions and how it works. And then, yeah, for Quill, it's like any book you've ever read, the knowledge, the timeline, the history of Aerois, the names of places that you've been, like just geography and like mineral breakdowns, like stuff that maybe you don't even really remember, like you glanced at it in a book and then closed the page. This almost like a photographic memory snaps that page back into perfect clarity and is copying reams of that information away.
I mean, I've also had the tome flick pages in front of me, and that thing contains...
That's a great question. That's actually a good point. You feel the tome vibrating next to you, and like you know that it's copying information from the tome as well. Just the Wayfinders guide.
We hack into this and do the inverse and fill the tome with all the knowledge of Aerois.
It pretty much has that.
That's
awesome.
I'm just making notes of all the Starbane bases and all the codes and secret info from Max. Like, oh, interesting, yeah.
You're not sure if you'll remember it afterwards, but it's definitely there.
Going through us briefly.
Quick, Nova, get a pen!
So we had Sentry and Quill. You guys both went.
Yeah.
The rest of you, again, you still have your turns. Valena's going to have to do another task. She's going to have to prepare the Starseed. So you've got at least a couple, like 4 more rounds of like task foci.
Yeah.
So again, any preparations you want to make, now's the time.
The connection tome.
So this is a new round, is it? 10?
No, this is still the same round with Sentry.
I readied an action, so
you
that's
did,
pretty much
but
done.
yeah, nothing
I'm
triggers.
done.
You're done. So Nova and Ayla, if there's anything you guys would like to do.
I just want to move into the middle.
Sure. Do you want to
Or
help
if I can-
Tom? Can you?
Yeah.
I'm too small.
Yeah, I'm too short too.
I want to teleport swap places with Tiangong.
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
move further than that.
And that's my action. So I don't know, as a bonus action, could I don't know if I could dismiss them and then, because I want to summon them back again so they're with me when I touch the foci. But I think I'll have to do that next round because I have to dismiss
You
them.
could just tell, like, Tiangong is like a being, and whilst this is up high, I think it would be pretty, because it's like an insubstantial, I think you could just tell it to move up and it will come up to you. We don't need to dismiss it and summon it again.
In which
That's
case,
gonna waste
I'll
time.
ask them to come and
Yeah,
join
cool.
me.
Yeah, you can say that that's maybe your action is like helping them, sort of
Yeah.
like you reach down,
Down,
pull them up
yeah.
and stuff. Put them on either side of the foci. We will get a proper Tiangong mini.
We
I've
have
got
one coming.
Yeah.
Well, as in, it's coming.
Yeah, but for now, Spooky Spectre.
We're repainting one of my old Nova minis.
Oh,
So I said I'm
Like a nebula.
gonna see if I can get some fancy paint because I found some like like nebula paints and stuff like that.
Poster?
Huh?
Poster paint?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm just gonna get Airfix and dip it in. Cool. All right, so Nova climbs up. You bring up Tiangong, but you're preparing yourself ready for this. Remember, there is going to be a task in between. So, and Ayla, you're just going to move in and then you're done.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, we go to a top of a brand new round, and yeah, Valena's going to start working on the next piece of the Starseed.
Connection, right?
Rock and roll. Yeah.
We'll see.
Connection's next.
All right.
Well done.
So, as Valena begins moving on this,
Memory.
she.
Post-it note.
You see her dwarven form, she reaches down and her hands meld into the anvil. And then as she pulls up, these two giant chains she hooks to either side of the Starseed. The chains are inscribed with runes and power flows through them. It's actually, I think that the chains would be, I'm trying to think where they would be. They would be next to the two columns on either side. So just in front of the big gates that Quill, you're currently like flying above. Sentry, you're next to one. Two enormous chains begin to drop from the ceiling. And Valena basically, like, she grips the two next to her and she says, "Champions, both of these chains must be pulled. They will be immediately strong. You will need to work together or be of significant strength to do so. But they must be pulled in order to activate the next stage." So that is the task.
Nova, you know what to do.
As a reminder, if this task is not complete by the end of Valena's next turn, it counts as a failure. It counts as one failure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. These chains, I will give you some information about them, are enormous. Looking at them, they are heavy and thick. Even just the size of them will make it difficult to pull them, unless you were a large creature. If you were a large creature, they'll be easier to pull down. But for like normal, medium-sized creature, it's going to be tough. Yeah.
Okay.
That is your turn. I hand it over to you. You will have a whole turn. Don't forget, Valor's powers are here. Like haste, a reroll, portals, whatever you need. You could use all three on this turn if you wanted to, but you would just get one. You get them once. That's it.
If one was to levitate a chain, would that make it easier to move?
It's not like a weightlessness spell. Like it doesn't reduce the weight. I might make it easier. Yeah, sure. I think like I might give like I wouldn't give advantage, but I might give like a small bonus for like the spell helping.
My other idea is to go all gravitational oogie woogie again
Yeah.
with either, probably not reverse gravity, but gravitational thrust. So that's the one I use to push max. But I was thinking maybe if I get it
Could like use it yank
yeah,
down.
to yank down.
Sure,
I think that one would be more.
Do you want to just do that on its own, or do you want to like wait until someone's pulling and then try and like
Wait.
almost use it as like help for somebody?
Yeah, I want to help someone. So, I guess whoever goes to a chain first, or when Ayla goes to a chain.
What I will do is I will actually count that as if another person is there helping, because I actually have a
Someone
thing
who
where I
doesn't
pull.
have -2 strength.
That's exactly it. Yeah. But I will count it as if somebody is help. Like the more people that pull these things, the easier they're going to be. That will count as an additional person for whichever one. And you've got left and right. Which one would you like to do?
Wherever
My left and right.
wherever Ayla goes.
Okay. All right. So you'll just wait and see where Ayla goes, and then you'll use it on that chain.
Yeah, it's within 60 foot of
Yeah,
me,
it's easy.
so
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
All right. So that's Nova's go. Readied action. Who wants to go next? Anybody got an idea or anything?
With Nova's help, I could go to the chain on this side.
Yep, on my
And-
left. Yep.
Yeah, I guess just try and pull it down and.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to give time for the others to try and do something as well? Because again, like you guys can choose your order here, right? So like you could be like, I'm gonna wait and go last, or I'm gonna wait until like Lucius and Quill have done something, and then.
Are you still huge, Sentry?
I'm not huge yet, but I can be huge.
Okay.
I can get huge. What?
That'd be good.
No, I do have an
Technically,
idea.
you can get large. Just the next size category.
Oh.
Technically.
Yeah, and I do have an idea. It's just I don't know who to help.
You're closer to Sentry.
Yeah,
Probably Sentry.
but I can
If
help
Nova's
either.
helping.
Lucius can come help.
Yeah, he's actually not that.
Strong bird.
He is, yeah,
strong, yeah.
it's not bad.
I think that's what I'm
Don't forget, Lucius is a peacock Aarakocra right now. More for visuals than anything
And
else.
he's
That's my
gorgeous.
strength.
I don't
think it
think
has.
so.
I
Would it?
think it's those stats that have changed now.
Okay.
I don't think L4 Aarakocra have
Nah, that's
strength.
+2's not bad. Yeah.
-2.
So Quill.
I will jump at the chain and hang off and just do this.
Chicken legs.
Little chicken legs.
No, I will.
I wish I had the plush here and I could just shake him.
I am going to summon a celestial.
Oh.
Mother trucker. Hello.
A large celestial.
Oh.
Who obeys my every command.
A strong boy.
And he has decent strength, actually, yeah.
Okay. Well, do you want to still, because if Sentry can get big, like, do you want to send that to help Ayla instead? Or?
Yeah, I'll send it to Ayla's side.
Okay.
Or I guess what will be Ayla's side. He's got okay strength, to be honest, but yeah, I'll summon a celestial
Sure.
of the Avenger variant.
Oh.
Doesn't change anything.
What does the celestial look like? You get to summon it. I know this spell. This isn't a specific like creature in the monster manual. This is like your own sort of like summon.
I mean, I guess similar in to he's not just like a big Aarakocra or anything. He's similar in theme to Hesper more than anything.
So a winged humanoid.
A winged humanoid, yeah. Just cloaked in light and radiance.
So no actual features, just like the vague form of a human being with wings, but made of light.
Yeah, I feel like in summoning him, it almost comes out of Quill in a way. Like
projects
the
from your
form of
chest.
Quill just explodes outwards and becomes Hesper in a sense.
Yeah, and this golden radiance, like some of its feathers from its wings drop down and seem to vanish as it's like as they're slowly falling. And yeah, you project it towards the one.
Yeah, and I can cast that 90 feet away as well. So yeah, that'll go straight to that
And you
side.
command it to help Ayla pull the chain.
Yeah,
Right.
just to pull the chain down, and it.
One big glowing bicep arm, another one grips the second part of the chain. I await the order. It just kind of grips on.
Nice.
You want me to do it?
Do it!
Okay.
So you're going to take
yeah.
your turn, Ayla?
Sure.
You move over, because sure, you can get the movement, it's fine.
5 feet, you're
I
fine.
feel like I should probably gravitational thrust the other chain now. I feel like these two have it.
You can.
I guess
sure.
yeah.
Lucius is warming up.
It's fine.
Just waddling over.
You're just in the
I'll say
background.
that,
just-
like, you could have said, like, for your held reaction, right? You could say, I will help Ayla if she needs it,
Yeah.
or I will help
Whoever needs it
whoever
most.
needs it most. Like, if I
That's
don't...
what I was going to do with Lucius. Is like whichever side looks imbalanced, he will lend
Strength too.
his strength to
Nice. Okay.
by trying to peacock fly
Okay.
to the chain
Uh-huh.
and fly downwards,
I was thinking
So, like,
of doing
grab
that
onto it
as
and then
well.
try and fly down.
pulling it downwards.
Pulling down. Still going to be a strength check, but I like the visuals. It's a theme thing.
I'm like
Yeah.
flapping downwards.
Using
Yeah.
gust.
Okay. I can think of saying. Well, let's do Ayla first. So Ayla, this is going to be a athletics check.
Okay.
You have a disadvantage because you are currently infused. However, you'll get a +2 bonus because you are being aided by another creature, and the DC is drastically lowered because the Celestial is a large creature and it's taking like the bulk of the chain, and you're basically just like pulling down
So
on it.
disadvantage, but then add 2.
Yes, and it is a lower DC.
Okay. So 15 or an 18, so 15 plus 15.
Nice.
You didn't need the large creature.
No, I did
the
not. I had a
DC
plus-
for this without any. The DC if it was a small creature without on their own is DC 30. Ayla could have pulled this thing
You
down
pull it
without
out of the
anyone
celestial
else.
hand.
Like the celestial is clearly like doing something, but like you feel that like you wouldn't have needed them. Like
One finger just.
yeah, like the muscles tense, the lightning crackles up and down the arms along the back.
Oh my
you
God.
feel like your muscles tense and stretch. Maybe a little bit. This is still hard work. It's not easy. Like you do it, but it's like sweat drips down you as you pull down. And yeah, you feel this chain begin to descend.
The celestial's just.
Hell yeah.
Oh shit!
I mean, I think like
Bro.
Damn.
in canon, non-joking around, the celestial would nod of respect, sort of like slow nod. All right, so that's one chain is being pulled down. What about the other one? So,
Nice.
Sentry, you want to go for this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go enlarge. And that'll
Enlarge
be
yourself.
I'll get advantage on strength checks.
And you're not infused currently, so you'd still have that advantage.
Cool. And that's my last charge.
And then, Lucius, are you going to go and help Sentry?
It seems like that chain's
Yeah.
under control.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
will be assisting.
So, you kind of like you flap, and you kind of jump up in the air.
I'll be right there.
And you kind of like, you flap and you kind of fly for a moment and you land and then you keep running and then you jump and you flap again and you actually a couple more seconds in the air and then you land and then you're like, I'm doing it, and you flap. And then, on the third one, you kind of now understand how like you can at least get wind beneath you. You're not flying, right? But it helps you jump up. You grab onto this chain and like trying to flap your wings to like pull it down. But also like just with your own athleticism, like you're still quite a strong individual and like you are pulling your weight down. You managed to get your feet maybe hooked into the column, onto the grate and like.
Can I cast gravitational thrust on him?
Yeah.
It says on a creature, so then it will
It doesn't change the weight.
push him 20 feet.
You can kind of push and like so he's gripping on.
Just blow out of this stuff.
Yeah. So for Sentry, advantage and +4 because you technically have 2 creatures helping you to the roll.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Ooh, 14 plus 8. Maths. 24 plus 2. 26.
26. With your larged form, with the others helping you, again, it's still difficult. Like it's it's not difficult, but it's tiring, right? Like even in you don't sweat, but you can feel your like wooden muscles and your vines, like you do feel them like tense and almost tear at points, as if they were muscle fibers, right? And like your metal begins to screech and creak as you pull down in your enlarged form. But Lucius, like with this heavy pressure, like pulled on his back, but he's also got like a claw around the gate. He's pulling down with you, and with all of these things combined, both chains. And they begin to rotate rapidly. You see the chains that are attached to the Starseed through the anvil as Valena is holding them. She begins to move them around it, like turning and twisting something. You begin to see lines of magic kind of coiling around this thing as it does. Like she's bending the runes on the thing, but she's twisting them around it. And then as the chains are like rotating round, more of these runes are replenishing as she does so, wrapping around it. Excellent work, champions. Yes, we are nearing completion. Just one more. And yeah, she's going to prepare. But that was the last turn, right? Everybody else has taken a turn at this point.
Wait, 2 more.
2 more. But she will say like, very well, I will prepare the next foci. And she finishes with the chains. The 2 giant chains vanish. They kind of disappear into ether. The chains in her hands vanish. And now she holds up what appears to be almost like a vice, like a kind of wood, like a workshop vice. She holds that up in the air, and again, you see that connection of magic go behind her now into the crystal pillar beside Nova. And it is a brand new turn. So again, take it in the order that you wish.
Do I still have a Blessy Bless from Sentry?
I believe so. You haven't cast another concentration
Lost
spell.
connection. Yeah.
Aura, yeah.
Cool. Well, if nobody interjects,
Yep.
Go for it.
If you got bless.
Wait! Cancel the gravity!
I'm gonna, and again, I don't want to keep telling you what to do. Valor's powers, you have to use them at the start of your turn. The reroll, you can't activate it like when you fuck up the roll. You have to activate it now.
do I have to do the reroll?
No. Well, if you don't spend it, it's gone. Like once you activate that power, you get a mote, like a mote of her power that you can then use. But once you use it, it's gone.
It's a lifeline. It's worth it.
I think considering we were already not
Or
sure.
you can save it for Sentry.
We've got the 2 worst rollers last.
True, but I think we already were pretty confident of Sentry and Hope. We weren't super sold on you and Connection, right?
No, it was me and Hope. That's why we swapped. I was originally going to take Hope, and we swapped. So Sentry
Maybe I'll
takes
switch
Hope,
a
and I take Connection.
Do we use the reroll now? It's up to you. It's your turn, right?
Yeah.
I'm just been rolling.
I'm not trying to tell you guys
natural
what to do. I just don't want you to like not
You've
use
been
this
rolling
cool
pretty
stuff.
badly.
Yeah, if you want to use it, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will take the reroll, but also I would like to touch this pillar together with Tiangong.
Right, that makes sense. I imagine that you would do. So yeah, like you kind of call out. It would be like, Valor, I need your light. You call out something to Valor. I need you. Yeah, and she'll just be like, and she like reaches up and she pulls from like her hair. She has this long dark hair now, like straight, very much like her mother. She has kind of this like Indian sort of Arabic mixed with calluses or nature. And she pulls like almost like a star from her hair, like a piece of glowing like magic from her hair, and as she throws it out, it becomes like a drifting orb. And you see it's almost like a clock that's like spinning in 3 dimensions, and it just floats next to you. It won't last long, Nova. If you need it, you need to use it when you soon, in the next few seconds. But you have that moat until the end of this round. You can use it to re-roll an ability check.
Cool.
If you want. All right, and then with Tiangong, you both reach out. You place your hand on this blue kind of crystal column, and very much like Quill, you suddenly find yourself in silence, in a white space that seems to stretch on into nothing. You have no physical form here, and neither does Tiangong, but you feel another presence with you. Inside you, beside you, around you. Not a voice. You can't hear Tiangong, but you know they're there. This is your mind, and it's shared, but it's like they're behind a glass door. They're there. You can hear them if you need to, but not exactly their words. That you can feel them is what I mean. You can feel their presence. And as you arrive, you hear a voice in your mind. Connection. What bonds the people of Aerois? What connections between the living and the dead to call them within the Starseed? What is unity? And you feel that again, that desire, that request to share memory, to share thought about connection and what it is to know the memories of connections or of what it means. This is how you choose to interpret it.
So Nova thinks to recent events, and specifically towards the evening in Gusthaven, when everyone was together around the dinner table, and as well as just the Stormchasers, we had loved ones. Nova had her family. Nova had Thalia, who has come from space, Big Cat and Kyrie. There were people there from all races, beast walkers, Aarakocra, elves, high elves, lowland elves. There were people, there's, Sentry with her Matrix and the memories of those lost, Guardians lost. Perhaps even the Matrix is a starseed in itself, in some ways. And she thinks of the laughter of Lucius making very rude gestures. She thinks of the way she feels when she looks at Thalia, when she looks at her family, when she looks at her friends and people she's met, from rulers and highborn officials down to beast walkers and space ship crew. And she thinks this is what Aerois is coming together and working together against Callus, against Hadar, working together to fight for another day, and also just being together in this moment of warmth and food and laughter and connection and love, all forms of love, from friendship to relationship to familial love. And that is what connection is to her. And of course in that as well, the connection with Tiangong too, this kind of other being, that just flows through all of that with everything she does.
The voice doesn't say this, but you feel this as like a question that lingers. Is connection just love and positivity? What about, you feel this almost like, what of the connection to Callus? What of the connection to your enemies, the people that you have hated? You feel like memories of like these hated figures come up. And there is this almost like a questioning, a curious nature. Like, to Nova, can you be connected to people that you hate? Can you be connected to people that have caused you pain? And does that connection change that?
She thinks of the first time that she saw Hadar. I think it was in the Night Eyes when she saw that vision of Hadar, and it was still a sort of distant threat. And then of the moment when Sentry and Lucius were almost lost and they managed to save them, the team managed to save them. And that fear. And no, the connection isn't love, but it is a need to survive and a need to thrive and a need to stand up in the face of being wiped out, because she, a little weak nerd from a little corner who thought she had this vision of the world, that has been proved utterly wrong and not like what she's read in her books, she will do everything in her being to stand up for everybody against those she hates, against those that threaten her friends and her family. Because it's what you do.
Okay. And how does Nova feel towards Callus? Not Hadar, who is this other thing, like towards Callus, towards Zarkira, towards Brett Brookstone. These foes, these enemies you've encountered.
Towards Callus, she feels sorry. She feels not pity, she feels sorry. She feels empathetic and understands his thought process and his drive to be better and his almost need to be better.
So there is a kind of understanding there, even though this is a hated enemy, there is this kind of desire to understand, this desire to reconciliate, in a sense.
And probably a frustration that he is turning away from all of us, trying to help him in our ways, in our own ways, and try to kind of like, a frustration of like, if we just work together, we could achieve
so
much.
Like that.
But we're probably going to have to stop you. And
I mean, connection is conflict as well. Like, you get that sense of like connections aren't like, aren't always positive, right? Like the last question that the thing senses, and the voice does speak this. And what of the dead have you lost? Do you know the path to the afterworld? Have you glimpsed it? Has Nova lost anybody? Does she have a connection to anyone who's ever died?
2 people.
Are they dead? Or did they come back?
They're not dead, though.
No. And the answer might just be no.
I think this... Okay, so this is what comes to me immediately. And it is the thought of Lucius lying on the deck of the Stormchaser, bleeding out, with everyone panicked around. And thinking of her desperately trying to cast that spell that she knows is going to take 10 minutes, and that is, 9 and however many seconds too long. And the desperation of everyone around her trying to cast Sequester, trying to think of these options, the doctor trying to help and nothing working, and Lucius just looking at Tiangong and casting Mending, and that kind of...
His last act before death.
That selflessness from Lucius in the face of death. And I feel like she would have thought that was the closest to death she has ever seen anyone come, to the point where it's like just ingrained in her mind. And she thinks of when Lucius takes that first awful breath back when he was healed, and that voice of Tiangong in her head with that mending spell cast of, all you have done, we know, thank you. And it just resonates through her.
Okay. Powerful emotions. It's very good, like very good memories. Excellent job. There is a slight element of like, you almost feel like there is a connection missing there. Like this part of the foci is meant to connect to the dead and like the world and bring them here. And like, there's just, Nova doesn't have that in a way. Like you came close, but like Lucius survived. He never made that journey. But everything else, like all the stuff about the friends, the family, the dinner, like, yeah, you feel that deeply connect with the foci. I think that this is going to be charisma because it is very social. It's about the people, the memories, the connections you've made. You get a D4 from Bless, but it's going to be a slightly higher DC.
Oh, goody.
You do have that reroll.
I rolled a 3 plus 5.
Is the D4 also rerolled?
I'd say, yeah, sure. Like, I think that Valor's power would be enough that this is like a complete... It's like time rewinds and like, you kind of get that sense.
Good roll.
Did you cast Mending on this roll?
No.
Okay.
No. One trick pony.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
There's a moment where like thinking all these things and that connection and like in a Nova way, like you feel like you've missed something, that connection to the dead, but also did it want more? Like the connections to your enemies, was that, were you supposed to have that? Or was this, what if you, like you begin to have all these doubts and you feel Valor, you see her as a child, there's a memory that flashes in Kaylee's Rest. Having lost Yusef and Corin, that realization that that connection, you became her family. And it's not there, you don't see it, but it's almost like you hear the ticking of a clock. And then those fears, you're like, no, I'm not gonna give in to that. And you think of the dinner, you think of all the things that you said, and that's when you connect. And that's a connection, that's a successful connection. So.
Hell yeah.
Very good. So yeah, you see this blue, starry kind of line connect to Nova's, at the top, not her heart, but like the top, like the chest kind of thing. Like it kind of connects into your like collarbone. And you feel it connect to this column. The thing pulses with light. You almost see like a nebula of stars appear around it as it connects. And again, you begin to feel this foci copying information. Every person that you've met, the face, the way they made you feel, the memories that you had with them, it copies those down, like little incidental things. Rose Hall, having those first conversations, the first time you met the party on the store, like all of these things, it's just copying like the incidentals. Yeah, it's just copying all of that stuff down as it is detailing these connections. What is important? What is friendship? What is family? What is it to hate someone? What is it to, be a brother in arms, to like, learn sword fighting? Like, how deep do these connections go? And also love, like with Thalia, like this is a thing that is incredibly interested in this foci, and it wants to understand what that is and why. Why did you go to such lengths to go and save her and stuff like that? So yeah, it copies all of that down. But that leaves us with only one foci remaining, and also I think now's the right time to go for a break.
One left,
So
two failures.
Yeah, but one left to go, but 2 failures.
Close.
Yeah,
It's close.
and yeah, get in there.
It was a good reroll.
Oh, that reroll.
Great reroll. You rolled a 4.
Yeah.
So needed
What a
it.
swing.
It was a big swing, and
Yeah.
it makes sense. And I think, like, again, it's like the dice know, man. Like the dice know, because they're like the drama works. So
I think it was perfect as well that you brought up Vala and Yusef and Corin, because that would almost remind Nova, no, I have seen death.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it kind of connects it. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
weren't,
we've
they
killed a
weren't,
lot of
they
people.
weren't. Yeah, well, like that's it. And I think it's like you weren't super close to them, but it was something like helped that connection. As a point, like when obviously dealing with this, like if Lucius or Quill had done it, as they like Sentry, it wouldn't have counted because Sentry doesn't go to the afterlife. But Quill and Lucius, because your connection to your family specifically, like that was like a big thing for Lucius. Like imagine you connect it, and Quill has actually been there. Like that would have been an easy.
I also know the route back.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just
Take a left at Palador.
But then it was all the other stuff, like very much fitted exactly what you said, and like with you're the only one who has like a romantic kind of like partner, and it makes perfect sense. So, yeah, we're gonna take. That is gonna be. In fact, I'm gonna say it this way. That's it for part 1. We'll see you next time. Join us then.
See ya.
Welcome back to part 2 of High Rollers, everybody. We are currently still in the Final Forge, but the Starseed is nearly completed. Both Quill and Nova have attuned to 2 of the remaining 3 foci. The party have managed to accomplish various tasks. Vala has sort of adjusted things to make it a bit easier, but there is still a danger of threat. And we are going to come in with a fresh new round. I believe. Did anybody else still have a turn left?
Everyone had turns.
I think everybody did actually.
wait,
Yeah, no, I think because it was a brand new one, wasn't it? And then Nova basically went straight in. So, yeah. So you guys have a turn to move around, prep any spells, get yourselves ready, cast any buffs, or do anything that you guys want to do.
So with my 1 turn of concentration, is that at the beginning or end of my turn?
So you cast a spell. It would last until the end of your next turn.
Okay, so if I took a turn now, I've still got a turn with this Celestial to do something before he vanishes.
Yes. Yeah.
So I know that we need to get... I mean, we have got portals from Valor,
Yeah, Sentry.
but we need to get Sentry.
I could also, if
Yes.
Sentry was smaller, probably use a charge to fly her up.
I also have fly and dimension door and gravity.
Okay.
Basically, how's Sentry getting to the...
How do you want to travel?
Same restrictions on Nova, by the way. Now that you've attuned, disadvantage on any ability checks, and you can't concentrate on a spell. It will go at the end of your next turn. So like fly is a concentration, but you could cast it and they could get up there, but then it will go basically.
Dimension door.
However, we still have another challenge to deal with.
You
as
do
well.
have another task to do. Yes,
Yeah.
one more task to basically the forging of the Starseed itself.
So do we want to move about and try and get Sentry closer to that pillar now? Because she's quite far.
I was just trying to figure out how best to use the Celestial Bro while he's still about, but not sure.
He could be useful for the next task, to be honest.
He's going to vanish now.
He's going to vanish at the end of.
Oh,
Court's
now?
turn. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
A really like hopeful pose to inspire Sentry.
He does a Stormchaser salute to Sentry,
It's pretty hopeful.
So hopeful.
and then vanishes in glitter.
There's Quill's turn.
Yeah, that's my. I mean,
wow.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you still want to move Quill on, you can move fine.
I think I'll move towards the center again with everyone, just so I can be in range for something that might happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, I
From
think
Nova?
I'm going to move a bit back as well. Just sort of.
Centralize yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna pop back in and shout. I just want you guys to all know that I love you.
You've had your turn. You can say that's a free action.
That's my free action.
I know.
Love as free action.
React.
Love is a free action.
Pride is a
T-shirt.
bonus action, though.
Yeah.
Lucius, Sentry,
We've had fire from the forge. We've had
Ice.
ice. We've had
Thunder.
lightning and thunder.
And
Yeah, you've had lightning as well. And radiant.
pillars.
I'm already resistant to acid,
Okay.
so I'm gonna do absorb elements.
It's a reaction. You do this every time. When you get hit by the
That's what I'm
damage.
gonna do
Okay. That's fine.
for something.
Every time. We've been playing for like 3-4 years.
4 years.
He's had that spell from level 1.
I don't use it because
Anyway,
I don't know it.
6 years. 4 years for Aerois, 6 years.
All right. So,
do you wanna move?
Sentry?
I'll probably just move more central. I've still got my bless up. I haven't used that yet.
Yeah, you've got no other concentration spells on,
No.
so I mean, yeah.
Still big.
There's a
Still moving.
Do you want to go to like the front of the anvil, or like do you want to like stay to the side next to Quill?
Maybe I'll go at the front. Next to
Go
Quill.
up there.
Yeah. That is actually
That's your
that's
end
actually above here. So on the
Oh,
map,
it's up
yeah. So it's
there.
above the forge
Ah,
itself.
okay, cool.
It
That's
is
fine.
like 90 feet above the forge.
Ooh, boy.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think we know how to get you up there. There's many ways.
Yeah.
Just how do you want
Yeah, I
to get
could do
up
that.
there?
I could.
And don't forget you've got a task beforehand as well.
Yeah.
All right. If everyone's done, I will move to Valena's turn and a new task.
Hell yeah.
All right, I actually don't need to roll for this one because I picked it. So, Valena, you see to your eyes this starseed, which almost looks like a sort of large opal-shaped sort of sphere, inlaid with these coils of runic magic, gold and silver, adamantine, mithril, all kind of blended in. You can see that there are huge diamonds inlaid into its base, beautiful, almost like a Fabergé egg, but made of magic and runic power.
And memories
and it's
and history.
and it's immense as well, yeah. In fact, actually, that's a good point. Each of the diamonds on the base, 5 of them are lit with like an inner light.
Cool.
But it's massive. It's like, huge, as big as like one of you as a medium creature kind of thing. And to your eyes, it looks done in a sense. But Valena kind of holds her hands out. Her hammer is still hovering in the air above this metal statue of Ayla that's basically acting as like a target for one of these infusings. And she says, "We are so close now, champions. The Starseed is almost finished. This shall be its last step if we can complete it. And then the last foci will remain. But to do so, I must retrieve my hammer, which will give us precious little time left. We must act quickly. If we do not succeed, this will fail. You must all now aid me in whatever way you can. We must work the metal, the magic that is inherent into it. Strike it with spell, with sword, with fist, whatever you can muster. We must use as much power and strength as we can." And she holds her hand out, and very much like Ayla, the metal hammer that's hovering above the statue flies into Valena's hand, and then 20 more appear around her. and they begin slamming into this seed at high speed, each one resounding with the blow sparks of magic. And she continues working, all these hammers sweeping in to do this thing. The metal statue of Ayla begins to crumble apart. It's still there, but it's like slowly dissolving, right? For this task, I'm not going to tell you the target. You have to deal as much damage to the anvil as you possibly can.
Oh, yes! Okay.
Hold on.
All right. So those of you who are infused, the disadvantage is only on ability checks. So attack rolls are completely fine. And again, remember, you get to pick the order here. So if you want to do some clever tactics of setting people up and giving people advantages and extra damage, all of that good stuff, now is the time to think about that. But yeah, you've basically got, I'm not going to tell you the target, you've got to do as much damage as you can to the anvil itself. Don't worry about area of effect spells. Both Valena and Valor are immune to damage at this point. You cannot harm them with your attacks. This is just, but you can harm each other. So fireballs and things like that can still hit each other. So again, you might want to think about your positioning and like stuff like that. All right. So I hand it over to you guys. You get to pick.
Okay.
Go on.
I would like to go first because I want to do a guiding bolt.
Okay.
Nice.
To give the next person advantage. I want to cast this guiding bolt at 9th level,
Oh my god.
Jesus.
which turns it into, so it's 4d6 at level 1. So
Now I will
5,
say,
6.
whilst this is an immobile anvil on the seed itself, you're striking the anvil. You can strike the Starseed or the anvil. It doesn't matter. The anvil on the map is the target, right? It does have an AC because there is an inherent toughness to this that you have to overcome. And that's the AC roll, all right?
Okay.
So it's an attack roll first, I think, for Guiding Bolt.
Well, I've got plus 14,
All right.
18 plus 14, so 22, 32.
You succeed in striking it and infusing it with power.
4 plus 9, I've got 12d6.
You're gonna roll these around manually? I love
Maybe
it.
I shouldn't.
No, I mean, I'm
Okay.
happy for you two. That's what D&D's about, like rolling loads of dice.
Just hand me all your
We're
dice.
17th level. If I don't give you guys a chance to roll lots of dice and just go
Fine.
ham, what's the point?
Stacking.
D12s.
D6. I've got 6 at the moment. 7 at the moment. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's all of them.
Here we go. Big math time.
Boom! 2, 5, 7, 9, 15, 17, 20, 23, 27, 30, 34, 38, 43 damage. I'm going to have to dispense all of these dice back to the right people.
Sure. So 43 points of radiant damage from Quill.
Yeah, and advantage to the next person.
Anything else? Bonus actions? Anything?
That is what I would do. That's all I got.
Get your full turn, so like multiple attacks, like anything you can do. If you want your bonus actions help you out, do that stuff as well.
No, I've only really got bonus action spells, so that'll be.
All right, that's Quill done. Are you going to fly? Do you want to stay where you are, Quill, or do you want to move away, or?
I want to fly. Well, before the attack, I fly to get a good target on it and just launch this.
Sort of up in the direction,
Yeah.
sort of over here.
Just launch this giant guiding bolt. This beam of radiance.
Cool. Yeah. So you said, what? Yeah. Was it? Is it just like a beam, like a kind of like Hadouken Kamehameha? What is it?
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, it's just
Like, this
whatever it is big.
It's 9th level. It's like.
I mean, yeah, this is like intense power. You know, almost. I think the similar sensation. You've been like Quill has cast like 9th level spells before as well, but like there is just this intense, blinding light and this sensation of wind and air that combines with this golden, you know, blast that emerges from Quill. Does it like come from the eyes? Does it come from the hands?
It comes from the hand. I want to imagine it's like almost like 9 guiding bolts all at the same time, just sort of spinning around and then just blasting into this.
You know how
thing.
to touch my heart with anime missiles.
And I yell, guiding bolts!
I love it. You're joking, but I love it. All right, so that's Quill. So whoever goes next has advantage. Whoever makes an attack roll, the next attack roll has advantage.
Yes, please.
All right, well, you talk with your team. Don't look at me.
Yes, please.
You can have it.
Go on.
Okay.
Kim's like, you can have it. It's fine.
I'd first like to use my bonus action
Yes.
for the upgraded Prismatic Alternator Gauntlet's ability to expend a level 5 spell slot to give me 5 charges in the gauntlet.
Sure.
I've already got 2 in there, which maxes it out at 7.
Yeah. So
That's my bonus.
Aarakocra Lucius, the metal feather, like you focus and you watch as this prismatic color, like almost like rainbow iridescent metal, kind of shines and it becomes powered up as all these different elements weave through it.
Sick. Is
And
it like a dual deck? Like a dual disc?
So that's 7 charges as a bonus action.
From that, he's going to raise his little clawed hand,
Yep.
and a chromatic orb that everyone knows and loves starts
Lucius
forming.
is classic.
But he's going to spiral it with all these charges.
Yes, all this power starts pulling off of the
7.
metal wing into it.
And he's going to cast that at 9th level.
And then I think 7d6 extra on top of the normal spell.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's got dichromancy afterwards.
And
Advantage
advantage to hit.
And
And
advantage.
advantage.
And I've got advantage.
And he's
to
got
hit.
seeking spell even if he misses
Yeah.
as well.
So
So fingers crossed, man.
It's-
I hope for a 20 here.
I'm
So
just going to roll a normal
It's
dice.
3d8 plus an extra d8 for each
No, it's
spell.
not. It's 9th level. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's d8.
12d8.
It's 12d8 plus another 7d6 on top, I think.
Bloody hell.
I can't remember the alternator gauntlet exactly.
18.
That's the first roll. You got advantage. So is that the total 18?
21.
Is that the total?
Yeah.
Yeah. The 21 will hit.
Okay. That's for the advantage. Okay.
As a point, 21 just hits.
Is it?
Oh
Okay.
man, if you whip that spell.
Oh, I missed. So 12d8. Here we bloody go. 9th level.
I think it's 13d8.
You think so?
Yeah, it's 'cause
3d8
3d8
plus
base and then all
another
the way
8.
to plus 9.
No. Yeah, it'd be plus 8 because you don't get the first level again.
I might have added
Yeah,
an
it's
extra
12. I
d6.
think it's 12d8.
Might actually be 11d8.
It should say on
I'm
there.
rolling the button that's
It's
on.
11.
Yeah, it's
It's
11.
11d8.
Okay, here we go. And all 1s and 2s. I see 1, 2. So that's 44 points.
That's from the base spell.
From the base spell, acidic damage. And then I'm rolling 7d6.
Yeah.
That is a whopping 32 on top of
Ooh.
that from my gauntlet alone.
70-ish.
And dichromancy, 9th level, plus my charisma of a number I totally know. 13.
Another 13 on top as well. That would put you at 76, 86, 89.
89. Nice.
No, it's a nice number. Nice.
So yeah, you watch as Peacock Lucius, like this thing builds up. You have the orb spinning as like it channels, and then as you sweep your wing, the orb flies through and impacts. And the acid doesn't splash over it. It's almost like it's absorbed into the seed itself. But you almost feel like a shockwave of magic afterwards. Like sort of like, you know, Quill's like this big flash thing. Lucius's orb hits it. There's no splash of acid, but then there's almost like, and like the rest of you kind of like stagger back for a second. It's like, yeah, it's clearly hit and impacted into the thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gauntlet is drained.
Yes, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it completely goes dull metal. Well, that's Lucius's turn.
We just softened them up. It's up to you guys now.
You want Sentry to go?
Yeah,
Or
I'll
like,
give it a go.
Again, like, do you want to? Are you guys
Alright,
okay?
fine.
Yeah.
That's going to be real complicated.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah,
Oh,
that's fine. Yeah,
no.
think about it. Yeah. Go on, Sentry.
You're going to cast a war crime on the anvil, aren't you?
I'm gonna raise up Starbreaker and thrust it towards the anvil.
You had Starbreaker active. didn't you?
Starbreaker's active,
Yeah.
ready to go. I'm gonna use Driven to Purpose as a reaction to make sure that I hit this thing.
Yeah, an extra 2d4.
Just going to mess it up.
Okay.
Also, you're large still, right?
I am still alive, so I get
That's an extra d4 on the
Lord.
damage roll.
You still have Bless up as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
17, 18, plus 18 plus 13.
Yeah, that hits.
35?
You definitely hit.
You hit.
Yes.
Alright.
Its AC is 21, as Trot found out.
Cool. So bonus action, I'm going to cast Staggering Smite to give myself an
Just remember, you
extra-
have to do that first. So you would have to do that before you attack
Okay.
roll. That's fine. It's fine. Like,
Okay.
there's no pressure that, you know, I'm not going to say no, but
Okay.
just for future, remember you have to do it first.
Okie dokie.
Because it's the next time you hit with it. And then your smite is you activate one hit.
Okie dokie. So I will Staggering Smite and give myself 4 extra d6. And
What are we
I'll
at
do
now?
a level 6 Divine Smite.
I'm just gonna let Rhiannon figure this out.
It's going to be a hell of a lot of dice.
89 is like the top of the leaderboard on the Pac-Man arcade machine.
Hey,
Yeah.
Just so you know, she's gonna beat that.
yeah, she's easily going to beat that. I gave you that.
The only way, I mean, if this had been a crit, this would be disgusting.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I mean, it's disgusting already,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's not a crit, so.
4d6, 2d12, 68. And a d4. And laugh.
D4 from
Wait,
last
hang
year.
on. Are you doing crit for Starbreaker? Because it's 2d12, right, normally?
2d12 normally.
And then how much? 4d6.
4d6 for staggering smite.
Might, and then
68 for the divine smite.
Plus another d8 because you have improved divine smite. You always add another
Another
d8.
d8, so 7d8.
And then a d4 for
A
enlarge.
d4 for enlarge.
Which I think is already in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus
Go!
bonuses.
I'm gonna be here a while.
Also,
Then-
second attack.
Yeah, this is just one of
this
them.
is just one.
11.
Holy moly.
That's what they do.
You know D&D Beyond rolls dice for you.
Not unfortunately, not when it gets complicated like this.
Yeah, I guess.
No, I mean, yeah.
13,
Her iPad would blow up.
23,
Can't render.
33, 37.
While Ree's working this out,
Yeah.
can I ask, am I allowed to cast Hexblade Curse on the Starseed?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you treat it like a creature in combat.
50, 56, plus 7. 63.
63.
That's
Total for
attack
the first
one.
one.
That already beats me.
Lol. Cool. So that is.
But the staggering smite is now expended. You don't get that on the second
Yeah,
attack,
that's
unfortunately.
gone. And then my next one will be a slightly lower divine smite because my 4th level spell slots are gone. So let's do this to see if I hit again. 19 plus 13.
Yeah.
That hits.
We have had so many close crits, like 18s and 19s.
Cool. So I'm going to do a level 3 divine smite. So that's 68.
What's she on so far? Damage?
63.
63.
Okay, so let's do this first. 60.
I like the little competition it's gonna prove.
4, 5,
Oh, we can't
68.
beat Rhiannon.
If you get crits, you can.
Yeah, but
Mine was a line him up and Lucius knocks him down kind of spell.
You're a support guy.
Uh-oh, that's gone.
That's a 3.
It's alright. The nice thing is we can lean over now. We have no lav mics to worry about.
Yeah.
10, 13, 15.
Fuck me.
Where's that? 15, 17,
I would probably just give it to you.
27,
You'd like
32,
Well, yeah. I mean, you've still got your attacks to go.
38,
Mine have
46.
No, but they're still
plus
gonna be
7,
huge.
50,
No, they're not the crit.
53 for the second one.
53.
Oh my God. So
100 and I believe 17 damage.
It's a nice number.
Was that attack one?
That was both attacks.
That was both.
well, like Deborah, just like John Halo.
So for Rhiannon, for Sentry, for Sentinel Prime, I imagine it's like you take a step back and like you gotta remember like Starbreaker is like a one-handed lance,
Yeah.
right? But in Sentry's enlarged form, this lance is probably as tall as Lucius and as wide. It's enormous.
Which form though?
Human, elf Lucius.
Old news.
The green energy spiraling around the lance as you like call Starbreaker and you kind of throw it forwards. And then you see the matrix flare to life, kind of adding extra power. And so this lance, the green is infused with yellow and orange from the matrix, and it slams into this thing. And very much like Lucius' spell, the tip hits the Starseed, but you can't push it through. But instead, all that force is driven into it. You see Valena, who's also like smacking this thing with hammer, and you're on the opposite side of the anvil. So when you strike, the shockwave catches her and you, Nova, and like you have to like grab onto the thing as this shockwave, like nearly like the Titan herself is like nearly blown back by the force of it. And then she kind of recovers after a brief moment as you like these two strikes slam into the seed.
Accidentally destroy it.
yeah.
Too much power.
No. So we have Ayla and Nova next. Who wants to go?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, I mean, mine's
It's
going
gonna
to
be
be really complicated because I'm going to do attack, more attacks,
More
a few more attacks, action surge. Tiangong's going to
You've
attack.
still got action surge.
Yeah,
think-
and I've got 3 Unleash Incarnates and some Smites, and it's going to hurt my brain.
Top
Yeah.
the
Mine's gonna be
leaderboard,
very simple.
100 and something.
Yes, yours is going to be I hit twice.
Pretty good.
116.
I recklessly attack.
Oh, here we go.
I rolled a nat 1. And a 2! I fail on that one.
No way to anybody know nothing like no reactions or No portents.
I react.
You don't mind.
No.
Yeah, that's shit. Oh my god.
Oh, that is a shame.
14.
Would haste help?
14 plus
Would have had to
15,
been
so I hit on the
activated already.
second one, but it's not a crit. Oh, this is trash. I do like no damage.
Oh, you'll still do some damage.
Heartbroken.
That is sad. That's very sad.
Sad now.
15 with the hammer, plus 5 lightning, plus my aura.
Like accents.
But yeah, just do the aura damage.
Which
It
is-
doesn't make us any through.
Ah!
Oh god. Oh no.
15 lightning
Another
damage.
15.
I am gutted.
Oh, I mean, you used all your strength smashing that
So
hole.
yeah, I think like that's like I think that
I am
the
heartbroken.
canon lore, right? It's not that like Ayla fucks up in any way. Ayla's an awesome kick-ass warrior, but I think it's like you've been attuned to the foci the longest, right? Like you were the first one, and you've been attuned to 2 of these foci, and I think that that's just worn your strength down. You know, the chain, the gate, like there's just like you've used so much of your strength. And you managed to strike it. The first one just didn't have enough oomph, and you managed to muster that last bit of strength and lightning into that final blow.
I'm so gutted.
The thing is, of all the challenges though, that we've had, you have basically been the one
No,
that solved
you've
it.
kicked their ass.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. You know, it's a team. Dice sometimes go that way, you know?
Dice do that though.
All right.
A 1, 2. No, but did you touch my dice?
Good up, Sylvie.
Yeah. Okay. So just to clarify on something before you start doing your thing, just because I want to check it for my own benefit. Unleash Incarnation. So when you take the attack action, so the first time you take it, you can unleash Incarnate, and then if you action surge and take it again, you can do it again. That's why I wanted to check, make sure you can get the 2 out. You can't get all 3 in one turn, but you can get 2. And if I'm correct, you have 3 base attacks, like with attack action. So you attack 3 times, unleash Incarnate, action surge. You attack again 3 times as base, and another unleash Incarnation. Do you want me to really make your day? You haven't used haste yet.
I was gonna say, can I use haste?
Haste only ever gives you 1 extra attack, but it is another attack action, which means another
I can
unleash.
smite. Or unleash.
You can unleash on Incarnate.
I got
I
Eldritch
believe
Smite
that's
as
11 attacks.
What
It's
is-
fine, I might roll garbage.
What is Unleash Incarnate?
That's
Unleash Incarnate is where Tiangong attacks.
Tiangong gets to make an attack
So
with.
4 attacks.
Okay.
However, unless you're using Eldritch Blast, you and Tiangong are both up here. You will need to get down to the angle, which
see that.
you can just jump down.
11 attacks in 6 seconds.
So is
Yeah, this is Nova's anime moment, like where it's like, you know, it's like JoJo.
And we're attacking together.
Yeah. So it's like they're crossing over, like.
That's cool.
But let's see how the dice rolls go.
Yeah, I could just roll. Crap.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You got to do the dice rolls as fast as the attack.
So I would say, Kim, for this, let's do all the attack rolls.
Yeah.
And then we'll do all the damage rolls as one big damage roll.
I have bless as well.
Yep. So you get the D4 on attack rolls.
Okay. What's your
And I
plus?
also
Bless is only 2 attack rolls.
so
on damage.
as a bonus action, I maddening hex the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I get crits on a 20 or a
19 or
not
something.
not maddening hex. Hex played close. Let's begin then.
What's your plus to your attack roll?
13, 23, 24, 25,
That's an
26,
easy hit.
27.
21's the.
Right, let me check this. So one attack
One.
hits.
So that was 14 plus. This is
I'll count the amount of attacks she's doing.
Thank you.
18, 19, 20, 21.
So two attacks hit so far.
just.
13 plus 13 plus 4
Yep.
is enough.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, maybe not.
20 plus 2.
Just.
Just took it
What, you
over with
roll,
the
what
bless.
was that roll?
14 plus 13 plus 1. It's
Okay.
5 hits.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
11 plus 13 plus
one.
1.
6.
6 hits.
The important to roll these individually because if there's a crit, we have to make sure we have
Seven
it.
again.
16 plus 13 plus 1.
Roll 8.
That hits.
17 plus 13
Just
plus
let Tom
1.
tell you. Just like let Tom look
Well,
at
I'm
it.
just for the math
for the
nerd,
podcast
like,
as well, yeah.
There's also the stats on the Reddit as well,
That's
which
true.
I love.
15 plus 13 plus
Crit.
4.
That's another 9. That's 9.
10. Penultimate.
14 plus 13 plus 1.
Yep.
The last one.
Might not. 13 plus 6 is 19.
Plus 1.
Plus 1, 20! It's
No,
not.
20 or 21?
20.
So I hit.
20 doesn't hit.
20 doesn't hit. So it's not a perfect round.
So
it's just
that's
10.
the last one.
No
Very
crits.
close.
No crits.
Crits.
Imagine if she'd had advantage on all of those as well. Like,
Disgusting.
so 10 attacks. So what is your normal damage for when you hit?
1d8 plus 9 plus 1d4 plus 15. The 15.
Hang on.
Okay.
Let me do it. So
my
1d8.
1d8 plus
So that becomes
9.
10d8 plus 90
Plus 9 plus 1d4
plus 10d4
plus 6 from
plus another 60.
Hexblade Curse.
So I need you to roll 10d8s and 10d4s.
All right.
1, 2, 3,
And
Cough up your dice, everyone.
I've already got like the numbers here, but
1, 2,
this is
3,
pretty
4,
nuts.
5,
Nova has smashed it.
6, 7, 8.
Very unique circumstances, but
So
yes.
this is 8. 1, 2, 3,
yours?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 d8.
You need two more d8.
I need
10
two
d8.
more
Because you got 10 attacks,
Oh.
you hit 10
Oh,
times.
it's all right. We got 'em.
We've got them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
9, 10.
You're good.
Oh my god,
Okay.
it's disgusting.
Numbies.
Oh my god.
Look at these big numbies.
Oh my
There's only
god.
1, 2 in there. The rest are 6 and 7s.
Yeah, so let me just line them up like by 8. Oh, there's a lot of 7s.
Fighters.
This is
Don't
really
sleep
good.
on fighters, everyone.
2. Oh god, that was a 7. I just knocked it over.
That's fine.
So it's 5 plus 2 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus
59,
7
I see.
plus 8 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. 61.
I did it wrong.
Jesus.
All right, now 10d4.
10d4.
This is Tiangong's force damage that it does
Got
on
all
each
there.
hit.
1, 2, 3,
another
4,
Rhiannon,
3.
I think he's been
5,
replaced.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, one's on the floor.
Roll a new one. Just
One's
roll
on
a
the
new one.
floor.
Quick.
Oh, it's a 4.
So 4 plus 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1
24.
plus 1 plus 2. 24.
Nice.
Better than a calculator.
Add that up for us. Like,
Yeah, I'm working on it, Tom.
What do
Don't
we
you
need to
worry.
be doing next?
That is, I'm pretty sure that's your whole turn. I don't think you get anything else.
Attack.
everyone's
Attack.
dice collection is
Can I-
ruined,
yeah.
by the way.
Can I get anything else in? Can I get like
You have a bonus
that's-
action, I think.
an action surge?
No, the
that's-
bonus was Hex.
Oh yeah, that's right. You
There was
maddening hex
one
bonus
maddening
action.
hex.
Yep, which is bonus action.
One Hexblade Curse.
Yes.
Yep. And then 10
So I-
attacks. You made 11, but you missed
Attacks.
one.
Okay.
I
and
don't
then
think you've got anything left.
I unleashed 3 times.
You
Can I
unleashed
do
3 times.
Eldritch Smite? No, I unleashed 3 times. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Unleash is different to Eldritch Smite,
Well,
though,
here's
because
the thing,
Eldritch
it's
Smite is
like-
spending your spell slots.
Because they're 2 special attacks, right?
No, it doesn't matter.
So, okay, in that case, can I
Eldritch Smite is when you hit with an attack, you can spend spell slots to do extra damage.
So can I do that? I have 1
you
spell
can do
slot.
it on. If you've got one, you can do it. Yeah.
So
you
I can
turn,
do 3d8.
Yeah, just roll
'cause
3d8.
It's for spell slot.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Another 15. No fucking way.
What?
An exact, perfect 250 damage.
Wow.
10 attacks, exactly 250.
250.
That's insane.
Oh my
Very
god.
unique circumstances because the haste basically
Yeah.
gave her another 2 attacks there. Everything hit, which, against some enemies it might not, but you also had time to get the Manning Hex off. No resistances. It doesn't have any resistances to any of that damage. So, but yeah, that's like pretty wild.
That's 22.7.
I need to do some
damage
adding up.
on average per attack.
This little blue nugget has come such a long way.
I need
So
my
the-
I
so
need my calculator
scoreboard.
now.
Like, the scoreboard is now an unbeatable. It's like watching the Eurovision results. Oh, the audience vote came in. Oh.
They're like explode.
It's all pointless, isn't it? It's not even worth it.
I don't know whose dice is whose.
No, I've got. I mean,
You've got like half
My-
the dice you started with.
yeah, my dice are looking very bare right now, so I'm missing a lot.
These aren't mine, that's mine. That's
So-
That white one's
yours.
mine, yeah.
This is interesting.
Uh-oh.
So,
It's not enough.
Nova, as we described, almost like shifting out of phase, as if her movements are not humanly possible, as if time folds around Nova, and every swipe It takes milliseconds to perform. Like, blade carved, then Tiangong is there carving. Then they switch places again, both carving across each other. All these diagonal sliced lines. And then eventually they both end up on either side of the anvil, like facing away. You dealt, in total, between all of you, 533 points of damage.
Half of that.
In one round.
In one round.
Hang on, is this all tests for like the Hadar fight?
That's a really good point.
Well, now.
Now you know.
Now I know what your damage maximum is. Actually, no, because Katie could have done a lot more.
That's true.
I did
bad roll.
absolutely shit.
You did not.
A 1 and a
You
2
added
with
to it.
advantage,
You added
yeah.
to it. I'm not going to tell you what the original target was, but you do see as those final 10 strikes land, Valena just stops. Everybody, like, she kind of holds her hands up.
Oh, more!
And she just one more hammer to the very tip, the very top of the thing. Not a hard blow, but just resting it on top. And you watch as a shield of force begins to kind of emerge. She says, one last moment. She looks up. Most important foci of all. And she looks at Sentry.
Oh, Christ.
No pressure.
Come see it done, Sentinel Prime.
I will.
And Valor will turn to you and say, like, just say the word Sentry.
Yeah, I'll ask at Valor for a teleport.
Yeah, so she will throw the portals down. Wherever you are.
Very apt.
I'm not going to put the other one, it's pointless. But yeah, you can just step through. Before you do,
Yeah, I'm big.
Yeah, she's big. Does anybody want to give Sentry anything or do anything?
I have nothing left.
I've got
Nothing left.
I mean, I can.
pat on the shoulder.
A guidance.
Yeah, I can guidance.
It's D4. I guess you've got bless, haven't
You got
They
bless
do
as
stack,
well.
actually.
They do stack, so 2d4 on whatever you
I
do.
can
here.
reverse gravity around you.
Nice.
Who's
I mean,
desperate
not
to
even just
oscillate.
like abilities. Like, do
think-
you guys want to say anything? Do
Yeah.
you guys want to like?
Lucius
create-
with the messenger ring
Uh-huh.
would just say to Sentry, you don't need to worry about a thing. Hope is innate to you.
Thank you, Lucius. I'll do my best.
All right. You step through. You see, and quite fitting, it is a green crystal within this this stone pillar. What do you do?
I'll take a breath
Mm-hmm.
and just reach out and touch it.
Touch it, and again, you feel your mind. And it's strange for you because the others, it's an organic mind that connects, but for you, it's like entering the Matrix. You feel that same sensation. To you, it's not a white, endless space of nothing. It is a river. A calm, green, rolling river. There's no sound, no motion, but it winds and it curves, it branches. And you hear and feel a voice. Hope. Hope is for the future. Small hopes and large. Dreams, ambitions, children. What hope is there for Aerois? And yeah, as I mentioned to the other Sentry, take your time. You don't have to rush it. But this is memories of hope. Things that Sentry, and remember, this is all from Sentry's perspective. Things that represent hope. What hope means to Sentry. These are all things you need to infuse into this foci. What do you do?
So, Sentry thinks back to the Sundering and the destruction around her as her whole world is being torn apart in front of her. Everyone she loves vanishing. Sentry tumbling into the ocean. That feeling of helplessness, of guilt, of grief, of not knowing what's happening next, what will come. She remembers falling or tumbling in the ocean and drifting away into nothingness and eventually succumbing to that black void when her power shuts off. And for what feels like forever, she somehow manages to open her eyes again and she sees Quill looking at her Quill saying hi, and Quill taking Sentry's hand, and they explore Lower Aerois together, and Quill teaches Sentry about the new world she's found herself in, and that feeling of family, of a new life filling her again. And then boarding the airship to Horizon and tumbling out of the sky, winding up with a wild elf, an Air Ganassi, a high elf, and once again tumbling back down to Earth. And that same feeling of hopelessness leaving her as everything she's just found comes crashing down again. But they survive and they struggle through, and they make it to the first settlement, and they have their struggles, and again they against all the odds, in such adverse situations, with death, with the threats of their very lives being put against them, they still make it through. And then coming back to Dwalenden, and Sentry finding out that Solvin had gone and her home had disappeared, and that same feeling of hopelessness once again enveloping her, and finding out that everything she once knew was gone. But still, she finds the strength to keep going with her friends around her. Anything is possible. And then Kaylee's Rest, and going to the cathedral and standing up for her friends, defending them until the very end, and feeling that same black void overtake her once more. But then, again, after what feels like an eternity, her eyes awake and her friends are with her again. Time and time again, her friends are always there for her, no matter what happens. And for Sentry, hope is her friends, the people that she cares for most. They're all still here, despite everything that's happened in the past, despite her losing so much at Solvin, and her holding on to that anger, that grief, that despair, and her thinking maybe it's time to let it go. Maybe it's time to really see what hope has to offer and fully commit to it 100% and let it overtake her. Let that feeling of hope overwhelm her and leave that sadness behind.
Very good. Is there, the voice reaches out. When you are gone, who then do you hope for? Who would carry this hope if you were not here? Perhaps one who is not yet born, one who is yet still young, for they are also hope. Is there somebody that you think of, somebody that might fit that, that sort of role or that position?
Petal.
Yeah.
Everything that Sentry's learned, she's learned. Everything that Sentry's taught her, she knows. All the values that Sentry holds dear, she knows. And she knows that she can trust Petal to carry that through. She has the legacy of Solvin with her.
Last thing, the voice, gentle, soft, fading. You face such dark odds. Hadar will not just destroy, it will end things. You have foes of great strength. What do you seek? What is your hope, your ambition? What do you hope to achieve?
A world that no longer needs heroes. A world that no longer needs people to fight for it.
I would very much like you to make an ability check of whatever you damn well fucking want.
Oh my god.
You take whatever ability score you want.
Yeah, just dunk on it.
Strength or charisma or con. I'll take anything after that.
I'll do strength.
Okay, you get 2d4s, right? Bless and guidance.
You get another, like, hope stat added on the end, like +9.
What Sentry's just done is determined the DC.
Okay.
Oh, it's not great. 15. Oh, with a +8 though.
23.
My +8, 23.
More than that hope resonates in this space. And that river becomes surrounded by green hills. A world that needs no heroes. Sentry's mind reconnects, and that pillar, that final foci, flares with vines and trees and plants and flowers. The seed glows. All colors, prismatic in its appearance. It flares for but a moment. Valena, her strength now finally does fade. She becomes old, like the edifice you saw outside, clutching this like a mother holding a child. She clutches the seed in her arms. It is done. She looks at Sentry, she looks at all of you. You have done it. The seed is completed. Aerois has one last chance, should all things come to an end. I will place it where it needs to go. It will rest with my brother Helios aboard the Sunship, and if it should come to pass, it will find its way to the Well of Eternity and a world beyond to take root where it can. You are done. When I leave this place, my forges will no longer remain. This demiplane will collapse. But there is one more task. You see that the seed is now gone. It's vanished. It seems to just vanish into her. She reaches two giant hands. She's still tall, old, but like almost like an old woman asking to be sort of walked across a street. She almost holds her hands out. And she looks towards the area you came in. There's no door there, but she looks towards it as if a door was waiting for her.
Yeah, I mean, I'll walk up and
You mentioned like wrap
guide her.
You know, it's a finger. Like you wrap a hand around a finger, and like you can all sort of like take one, and yeah, she will walk with you, kind of stooped and hunched and slow. But there is still a sense of power you detect within her, and she walks you to the edifice, and you feel that kind of shifting of space, and you find yourselves looking back out onto something. No, you're not wet. You can breathe, and you realize that same sphere, Vala with you, Vala conjuring this shield around you like she did for the lava and encompassing Valena now as well. As you are hovering in this space, you see the Stormchaser slightly off to the side, almost beginning to now power up as if to come towards you. And then it seems to stop. And you see this long strip of Solvin before you. Valena looks, peers at the Stormchaser, looks down. A fine ship, Captain. Well made. Such skill has been made in it. It will serve you well where you need to go. It is quick and quiet, perfect for what awaits the five of you. But it is not what Aerois needs. She looks, and you begin to see that city begins to shift. Lights begin to light up, and the earth begins to shake. Sister, take us above. Vala looks. She sort of nods. You teleport. You now stand hovering in the sky above a stretch of ocean. You wait for a moment, like, what is this? And then you begin to see the sea as if something has just dropped. And you begin to see towers. But towers with turrets. You see long buildings that have now formed into corridors, connected as an enormous battleship. Water pouring off the sides, the very earth shaped into its hull, connected with crystals and weapons and an almighty bridge sitting at the back, the Grand Cathedral of Solvin, now forged into a great bridge that looks down, the symbol of Solvin directly on its side. The Astoria. Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Thy gift to those who would stand against our enemy. Callus thinks he has all of the firepower he needs. He did not face this. Use it well. Champions. Valak guides you onto what is almost a street of Solvin Sentry, but it is basically this like a battle carrier, like an aircraft carrier, like this entry where like you imagine people could stand and fight, like this open space in the very middle of like all these buildings that looks down the length of the ship. And Vala lands you on it, and then you begin to see, like, very much like Zephyr, Valena begins to turn to dust. Almost like mineral dust, like steel, like that's been carved away from something, stone, crumbles of chips, flakes of gold. Her body just begins to turn into earth and metal. Mother. My mother. God.
Holy shit. Oh.
I hoped it was going to be a battleship. Thank you, Mark.
That's right. I knew that you had sort of twigged onto it. I felt like Trot had also been like, I think I know what's going on.
It's when I was asking about, like, Sentry's memory, like, was Solvin a match for Callus back in the day.
And it was. And yeah, you can see this. This is but a sliver of Solvin. This is not the whole city, but it is bigger than Horizon.
Yeah.
This is enormous. This is like, you know, a strip of a city turned into a battleship. Like you could have a fleet or like, you know, 10 Stormchasers dock in it. Like it has like hollowed out like you can see, you know, I'm not going to go into it. I haven't fully but it's like there are like hangars built into the side that airships can go in. This area on top looks like smaller Magitech devices, like the ones that you've found and fought in, could be stationed here. There are guns, there are arcane turrets built into all of this stuff. And then, yeah, the cathedral has been turned into like the main deck of this battleship. It's kind of, imagine a little bit of a Star Destroyer mixed in with like a kind of like aircraft carrier kind of turned into this kind of thing.
So cool.
And a bit of a helicarrier from S.H.I.E.L.D. as well.
How the hell are we going to cruise it?
Oh my God.
Well, when you say that, you hear a familiar voice. Howdy, champions! And emerging from a little sort of like building, you see D1, and behind D1, you see hundreds. All of those constructs that were working on the city are now here. And you still don't think that that's enough. You don't look at that and think like these guys can run the ship themselves, but they're like, I'm sorry that we could not inform you of Mistress Valena's plans for the Astoria. However, I am pleased to say that we have been given one final task, to assist in the maintenance and running of this ship as it prepares for battle against Callus and Hadar. We are not fighters, however, and we will still require a large amount of crew to help maintain the Astoria. But for maintenance and repairs and the general running of the ship, the Maidens of Valena are pleased to serve the champions. And she just sort of like smiles, and they all have this identical smiley dwarven face. But there's ones of ruby, of topaz, of sapphire, of emerald and amethyst, all sort of like stacked around. And they seem to almost be able to just meld into the floor and go to wherever they need to in the ship. They just kind of, and then.
It's truly an honor. Thank you.
You are welcome. I am pleased to also inform you, your ship, the Stormchaser, is making its way to the surface now.
They're just down there going, what the fuck?
And yeah, like maybe like 10 minutes, the Stormchaser breaches the surface and flies its way up to basically be parallel. And it's like pretty small compared to the Astoria.
It's nice of her to compliment the ship before revealing her biggie ship.
Yeah, well, and just to make a point as well, like the Stormchaser will be able to. The Astoria is not fast. It is not like a, this is like the Norm, like in Mass Effect, like the Normandy's like it's a stealth ship and it's Shepard's ship that they fly around, do all the cool stuff with. But then they have the big battleships for like the big fights. This is that kind of deal, right? The Stormchaser is your Normandy.
I knew that.
Yeah,
and that's why I crashed.
The little skiff.
Because I knew the Stormchaser's the new skiff.
Yeah.
It's not a skiff. It's your ship.
Compared to this.
Yeah,
it's all relative.
Yeah, the Stormchaser can do things this ship can't.
Tiangong and I we're not powering that. We're not.
I don't think you have to.
No.
I think you just focus on the Stormchaser.
Yeah.
I think they have it all in hand.
Explode.
Yeah, that's another point. That's actually a good point, actually, Kim. Like, looking at this thing, even if it has some sort of incredible power system, it will probably need to recharge a lot more than the Stormchaser will. Like, this actually is, like, quite slow to maneuver. Like a warship, right? Like, this isn't... You can't be agile with it. You can't be quick with it. But it is power. And it is big. Like, it is... this is an immense thing. And
it's bigger than Horizon.
Yeah.
So we just fly up next to Horizon.
Well, it's longer than Horizon. It's maybe like a little bit not as wide as Horizon. Horizon's quite a wide city. It's quite squat and wide.
It's a city.
Yeah. This thing's probably like 2 or 3 cities, like long. But it's all long, basically.
Report to engineering. You need to get a tube.
This
get there, a bus.
A rough aspect, if like something like Horizon has like, I don't know, 10,000 people in it, this is like 30,000, like 30,000.
It's just hard to fathom.
I can't even in my head.
Someone to do a CGI render of that.
Yeah.
This is a Star Destroyer, basically. Like,
So
Oh my god.
Designs, you're out there, bud.
Scale-wise, next to the Tassadar.
Next to the Tassadar, this is bigger than the Tassadar.
Vivex?
Bigger than the Vivex is the dragon ships, right? I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember my own lore. It's bigger than all of those. Like those are big. Like it's not much bigger. Like those are about Horizon size. Like the Tassadar was probably about equal to sort of like maybe a little bit smaller than Horizon. But this thing is massive, and it's got a lot of guns, like a lot of arcane turrets. You see stuff that you've never seen before as well on this thing.
This to D1.
Yes, Mistress Nova.
This isn't powered on a Turner, is it?
No, this is not. This uses a fragment of the world engine.
Oh.
Does it come with some sort of instruction manual?
Us.
Right.
Okay, in that case...
Part of our duties will be to train and teach anybody who comes to work on the Astoria.
Very well. And what do you require of us? Orders of where to go?
You are not our commanding. We do not know who our commanding officer is. We must be assigned one.
Oh. Okay.
I've already got the Stormchaser to deal with.
I mean, do you want to be Admiral Ellen Astor?
Oh, that's got a good ring to it.
I'm dealing with a lot at the moment, and I feel like I'm not in a leadership.
I can offer some tactical advice if you would request it.
I request it.
It is not recommended that an individual such as Champion Lucius is the commander of the Astoria. Mistress Valena believes that you will go to fight Hadar and Callus in many different ways. The Astoria is not mobile enough to do so. We would recommend that you place somebody with a great tactical knowledge as well as coordination abilities who can coordinate between multiple forces. Somebody very powerful and with great leadership abilities.
Right.
That is something for you to consider. We await the champions to inform us of who will command the Astoria.
Okay.
Well, we'll be back once we've made a decision.
Of course. The Astoria will maintain its current location. We also have functioning teleportation circles for you to travel to where you need to.
Wow, okay. And how much more crew do you need?
Significant. The Astoria is also designed to be a way to protect the citizens of Aerois if war were to come. Many of the cities, as we witnessed in Solvin, and she gestures to Sentry, many civilians were caught out in outlying farms and places like that. Soldiers were obviously there to defend them. The Astoria has housing, functions, food, places to grow crops. It is meant to be a shelter of sorts for those in danger.
There's a lot to think about here. I think we should have a meeting on the Stormchaser.
Sounds good.
We'll be back. I salute.
They copy that salute.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Lucius melts.
That's not even a salute for a ship anymore. That is now like a capital city kind of gesture.
As you are sort of like in the distraction of all this and D1, like you realize that you're gonna have to walk over to where the Stormchaser can dock or like come in and like things like that. As you do so, you make your way back towards the large cathedral, the bridge, and Sentry, you would see that out in front of the cathedral is a statue of Guinevere Astoria, the queen. It's like this central piece that like, almost like in a plaza that leads up to the bridge, and she's gesturing forwards, sword in one hand and a staff in the other. Regal, intelligent, this kind of, and she looks like, the rest of you would recognize, it's like Petal, grown up. It's like, looks like grown up Petal almost. Dressed, elegant, big high collar behind her, trailing gown, armor, as well as like this beautiful dress, and sword and staff raised out like a kind of warrior, wizard, queen.
So she would kneel down in front of it and just say, "You're still fighting. You're still fighting.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this."
That's it. Vala will also say, "I know you want to have your meeting on the Stormchaser, which is fine. I think that as Valena has rejoined Siaska, we did see that there was some changes in the halls last time when Zephyr joined her. Is that, would you like to go back? You don't have to. I don't imagine anything. It's not like she's going to be able to speak to us, but...
Good a place as any to hold a meeting
We
amongst...
can zap there and back pretty easily,
We can.
right?
We can use my tome, in fact.
Yes.
Pretty sure I'm attuned to it.
Even if you don't, I probably will make my way there. I'd
We'll
like to
come
see
with you,
what's
Vala.
happened. Thank you. Max is like, he is like wide-eyed, and he's just looking at this place. I had heard of Solvin. I never fought here, but I heard of it. Impressive. Very impressive. He's just, he's like, from a military point, there's almost a touch of fear. Like, you can see he's like he's now starting, you can see the battles playing in his mind of like, how would, the Tassadar match up against this? And it's hard to tell.
Suddenly feels like he's on the winning team.
Maybe.
Unless he steals all our secrets and gives them back to Callus.
Oh, what secret?
We don't have any left, do we?
Yeah.
Hey, Callus, I got some juicy gossip. You're losing.
But yeah. So, what would you guys like to do? We got a little bit of time.
I mean,
It's a lot. I know it's a lot.
But in the best way.
Yes.
It's a lot, but in a good
Well, also
way.
like the whole Forging the Starseed, I feel like that was a lot as well. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
I feel like the characters have been through a lot right now.
Yeah, it's
And
like
just-
overwhelmed.
okay, so how was it for you guys? I'll be honest. I kind of panicked in there when I had to talk about my stuff. How did you guys do?
Yeah, no, I failed one of them.
As did I.
True, but you helped each other.
We did. And Max kind of looks at you and he's like, and there's an immense amount of respect when he looks at you. Like, he's seen stuff that you've seen, and you've seen what he's seen.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah?
Yeah.
As a
Oh, we've
sailor,
seen it.
which I knew anyway.
I'm just saying, Max, you should stick around. We've got a bigger ship.
We should.
Please.
My side is beside Vala, beside Lady Vala, but
So that's on the giant battleship. Got it.
wherever she is, I will be. But I'm very interested. Some of the things I saw in your memories, I had not made the connection to the Elves of Alfheim, truly. But also, I had heard of their technology, of their magic, this regrowth chamber that they once had. But it was spoken of in hushed tones, in whispers. I'm not a spy. I did not follow up on it. There were confusing memories you had, Ayla. Memories of your life here on Aerois, but also fragments of something that almost as if you yourself did not know them. Fragments of another life, of fighting in the Empire.
Yeah, I've been able to open some doors that were kind of weird before.
Well, if I can talk to you about it if you wish, but yes, my knowledge is limited, but I knew a little of the Warriors of Alfheim. I knew a little of some things that may be connected. I do not know how you came to be here on Aerois, but I know that they once, there was talk the elves of Alfheim were incredible warriors. Even those who did not have their elemental powers, they were still immensely strong and talented, skilled, agile. And it was said that their collected knowledge, their memories, their training was passed one body to another. A body like how do they describe it? Like a cutting of a tree that is taken from one and regrown into a new tree. And the other one is taken down. When the other is destroyed, the new one grows into something new. They would grow themselves a new body, and then that body would have the memories and the training and the experience of who they were before. Sometimes they would change. They may change in gender or they may change appearance, but they would always have that same memories locked in them. Others would keep appearances. And I'm almost certain that I have seen a wild elf of red hair and very similar nature before, but I never interacted. It did not strike me until we could see each other's memories. It was an old memory, but I think you may be one of these warriors, and perhaps you, like a tree, you are a descendant of a warrior of long past.
Quill, am I a tree?
Do you remember this other person you remember as a delight?
No, I did not speak to them or meet them. When you pass someone in a crowd, I would not have thought of it until that strange foci linked our memories, but it came to me for a moment.
So would there be one of Ayla?
Yes, I believe that my knowledge of this is limited. I did not speak to the elves of Alfheim. They were reclusive for the most part, and whilst many of them were very loyal to the Empire, there were many who were not. And my understanding was that no, to do so would be a sacrilege to their culture, to their faith. They believed in a tree of life that was bound to them, was connected to them. And when one life would come to an end, the new sapling would be nurtured and grown and would have the memories of their predecessor. But they would wait until the previous life reached their time. Either were killed in battle or reached old age or some such. Most often, though, they were killed in battle. They did not live very long, the elves of Alfheim. They were warriors to the end. Reckless, dangerous, but valiant and strong. So that may explain some of if you have had such encounters, it may be that those are lingering memories of your past life, but...
I don't really remember any of it. I get those flashes where something comes to mind, but...
Perhaps the ritual was not completed correctly, or perhaps the magic was changed in some way?
I spoke to someone called Thor once. Apparently gave some power. You know, lightning.
I do not know that. That name means nothing to me, I'm afraid.
My tree.
Kind of, is what I'm picking up here.
Okay.
But you said that the memories would go to the sapling when the predecessor had reached their time.
Not this. Think of it. I guess we are using metaphors here. A child. I do not know how they were created. Magic, I suppose. I believe that Zarkira has spells to replicate a body in a way. But this was different to that. It was a real body, an actual grown flesh and blood body, a real person. My understanding is they would always have those memories, but they would not awaken that child until the previous life was ended, it was destroyed. But as the child grew, my understanding was that magic was used to help them unlock these memories, but some of it was instinct. As a warrior, perhaps, and he brushes over from Quill, he looks to Sentry. As a warrior, my apologies, Nova, you have received recent training. Perhaps Tiangong would understand this, but there are instincts in battle that you do not forget. They are part of you. They are instinctual. They are natural. You do not think about them. You simply dodge. You block in a certain way because that is how you have done it 1,000 times. Those things would remain in the child, but the more detailed memories, places, names, people, that would need to be encouraged in some way, and I don't know the details of that.
I was always better at fighting than everyone.
I mean, you've
around
definitely
me.
got the instincts there,
Yeah.
but maybe there is some kind of magic we can try to understand to unlock those latent memories.
You would need
perhaps
to.
the predecessor is not ready yet.
You would need to find other wild elves on elves of Alfheim.
That seems traumatic, but I'm down for it.
It probably
Okay.
is, but no more than being a lightning pole.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Can you not suggest that every time that there's a situation that could even slightly be useful to have
I know
that,
it's unkind, but I mean, of anyone.
I mean, all I remember is when I was younger, I was better at fighting than anyone in the clan. And then I discovered that they weren't the clan, that I didn't have parents. I had a family that took care of me, but they weren't my parents. Not my real parents. And then I got really angry, and anytime I got really angry, little lightning sparks, and it freaked me out, and it freaked them out a little bit too, so,
My understanding of the Elves of Alfheim is that the parents, in the way that perhaps I would know them or the others would know them, is not the same concept. There is no... But intimacy is not the same. A child is not born in the same way for the Elves of Alfheim. This process of recreating the previous version of them is done all through magic, some sort of natural druidic magic, perhaps. I'm not sure, but they are raised by friends and family of their previous life. They are sort of raised by those who were close to them in their life.
So how does the other one work?
What other one?
Well, because there's the magic way, and then there's the non-magic.
That is not a question I'm willing to answer.
You know the answer to this.
What's that? Oh, that's putting a ring on it. That's you proposing.
So I thought that was only the magic way. Because I wasn't there.
I'm
when...
not telling her.
I'm just gonna...
Have you ever seen an
Disappear.
egg?
Yeah?
That's how I know it.
It's true. It's true. Of course, like
Oh, God.
eggs.
Eggs.
Can I lay eggs?
You can. Oh, you can't. You can't. You can't.
He could.
You don't. Do you know that?
Could he? Do.
How are you
Can
feeling
Quill
right
lay-
now? Like in,
Can I?
in your tum. In your tum. How are you feeling in your tum?
Pretty squishy. Not
Squishy's
very
good.
hard.
Bloated.
But like, a little bloated, but I've had a dicky tummy for a little bit, but we've been
Since
very
the,
distracted for a while.
since
I
the
think it could be
transfer-
Howard's cooking. But anyway, no eggy feelings.
Okay, no eggy feelings.
No
okay.
eggies.
Okay.
In.
I saw you fly.
I know.
Fly, hover.
It was kind of like an instinctual moment.
Yeah.
Like I had to get up to the chain.
Pretty good, right?
It's a little difficult.
But
So I
you'll
might
get
need
used to
some
it.
Guidance.
I can guide you.
I know. Guiding bolt.
That's
And guidance.
yeah, guide.
Sorry, Vala.
Oh,
I
yeah.
realised that
We're
we should be going to
gonna
the...
be going to see more
Siaska's
wild
not
elves.
going anywhere.
We're
So
seeing
maybe
more
when we see more wild elves, I wonder if any of them have.
We know one,
remembered.
right?
If they served in the Empire, they will likely know of this. If they were raised here on Aerois, I imagine they would be like you. They would not know of it.
Oh.
I mean, Rethra was a
That was
slave. He was
something.
captured, and I think his brain was a bit too fragile to have the conversation with him about it. So
There was something I remember. There was a sort of role within their ranks. Again, they served in different units. I did not spend much time with them, but I remember one I encountered in a brief conversation, and they paid deference to a sort of priest of theirs, but it wasn't a priest like to a god like we know it. It was like a servant of this tree that they believed in, this life tree, this world tree. They had a different name for them, but it was basically somebody who tended. I think the rituals involved them somehow. You would need to find. I think one of them wouldn't have the answer. We laugh. We smile.
I'm just enjoying Norse mythology and world trees.
little bit.
And Idrisil and,
A little bit.
you know.
Vala just says it's like, well, Mother isn't going anywhere, so it's no rush. And we have been through a lot. That was a lot.
So
That was a lot for me as well.
Yeah, I think we kind of needed that. Are you okay, Sentry? That was...
I'm okay. I think
You embodied hope for a minute there.
it was cathartic.
And then your city came out of into a ship.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
It's great. It's hope.
It's overwhelming. It's got a lot of guns on it.
It has.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
big.
that-
Lot of guns.
It does.
Was Solvin like this?
No, not so much floaty in the sky airship.
guns.
It was more that way round in the ground. Like it was more vertical than horizontal.
A lot of these like weapons and extra bits have been added. There's the city is mostly there, and you remember Solvin had defenses like walls which had arcane turrets built into them and things like that. And you can see elements of those here and there, but you're also seeing like you guys first met like D1, like you saw a bunch of these dwarven constructs. The main's like pulling apart Solvin ruins, and it looks like they've pulled like old Solvin turrets and they've mounted them in other places. Like they've rebuilt this into the form it is now, but a lot of it's been added. There's like probably what would have once been like a sort of like a shopping plaza has been turned into like a domed building of some kind, and then like other turrets and towers have been added on, and but it looks seamless. It looks like the maidens have actually built into the architecture, so it does look like a city, but it's like an enclosed city that is also a big airship, like a big battleship. It's very bizarre. Like it's like walking through a mall if that mall was also an aircraft carrier and had loads of guns on it. Like it's very weird.
Are there like bits on the inside that look familiar? So it's like Sentry walking around, you go, oh, I know where that bit's for. Like,
yeah. You recognize like a street that you once maybe took a patrol down. There's also like not on the top level here. But and this maybe isn't what happens now, but later on, like as you explore, if you go down below, like there are floors to this place, and like those floors have been built, and with magic, they still kind of look a bit like outside, like almost like it's like an indoor sort of area that's been created. And there are parks, like, and you like I brought Petal to this park, like, and it's this like just a nature park, and it looks like it's just been built as a recreational ground, like somewhere for people, like maybe soldiers or for civilians to come and not have somewhere nice to be, basically. It's only a small thing, like it's like a section of it, but you remember it.
so cool.
Yeah, and the cathedral you definitely remember, like that's where Queen Astoria would like deliver proclamations to like the city, and like everybody would go and worship Siaska there. It was a temple to Siaska, and like it was like a big deal.
D1.
She kind of like comes to life. She was just completely went inert for a while.
Sorry for...
Champion Keelek.
Oh, I like that. What's the travel capabilities of this ship?
In what regard?
If we were to, say, ask for it to be sent to Horizon, for example, how long would it take to get there? What sort of speed?
She doesn't make that face because she does make a face. It is difficult. Under the cradle, the Astoria is not designed for, shall we say, planetary travel.
So
the Astoria will be faster in astral space. It is possible, but it is not the most maneuverable of ships.
So it can traverse?
Yes, very slowly.
Okay. Interesting.
What are you thinking?
Well, I was just thinking, I was going to ask, can this cross the astral sea? It can.
Absolutely.
And keep all of the ships, like the Stormchasers, safe while traveling through there as well?
Indeed.
Great. I was just wondering, do we want to let Horizon know this exists and it's ours, and show them that, and maybe try to gather a crew for this thing?
Horizon can kind of drift towards us too.
We can meet them halfway.
From what I understand of the Sky City of Horizon, its travel capabilities are faster and more maneuverable than the Astoria is in planetary environments and in planar environments.
This is why I think we should have an important discussion.
Okay,
So I think the capability of this ship could help a lot of people on Aerois.
Yes.
That is its purpose, Champion Lucius.
The instinct to salute every time.
Sure.
She says champion.
That was like, I know you want to go to Horizon. Would you like to
Eventually.
go to the halls?
But yes, we should.
Let's go to the halls.
Yeah.
Good. You see there's relief. Vala's like hands are shaking, like when somebody's like really nervous, or like when they've just like had a big burst of adrenaline, like you get the shaky hands and stuff. Like her hands are like vibrating. She's like trying to hide it, like hold them to her, but like you can see that trembling. And like she's sweat has like soaked her dress. Like she is like feels. You think that she's gone through more exertion than you guys have. But she seems to like just be like yes, and like Max is kind of stood with her. And yeah, she just gestures for you to book.
Yep, I'll book
it.
Book the bookie.
Yeah, we'll book it.
Yeah. The book, you feel the familiar sensation, that Bifrost feeling of like being pulled up along this prismatic wall. and you find yourselves in that strange, although maybe not as strange, you've encountered similar spaces to this, but this ever unending stone white marble that glows like it's made of, light building that just seems to stretch on in all directions. Wherever you look, it just goes on forever. And at the middle, you see that same crystal glowing sarcophagus. There are golden feathers that sort of drift around it. Maybe they sort of fall from the top of the sarcophagus, and before they reach the floor, they vanish and reappear. There's that gentle wind that blows around it. But now, you can also hear the faint sound of a flame, like a burning, crackling flame somewhere. You can hear the faint sound of a hammer striking an anvil, but very distant and not annoying or sort of like distracting, but just gentle, like very far away. You can feel the sea breeze as you approach it. You can smell the salt air of the ocean, and you can see that there is also parts of the sarcophagus have become gold and silver and adamantine, like parts of almost the base, as if somebody has reworked it in a way. And you feel the difference as well. Divine power. Much more concentrated. Even after Zephyr, you knew that Siaska was in there. Now, with 3 of the Titans rejoined, you feel a presence. You can feel someone there, like a ghost or a specter in a haunted house, like an apparition that you know is there but you can't see or touch, and just this sort of atmosphere of power. The actual sky above you, normally the Halls of Infamous Splendor is just white stone arches. You begin to see a night sky is forming, very faint and distant, but it's forming above the sarcophagus. Yeah. Val's just like, she's coming back. It's happening. It's really happening. I need her help now, more than ever. I don't know if I can do that again. What happened in the forge, that was scary. I almost lost myself, and I don't want to risk that again. But I think if she can teach me, I can control it better. It may help one day in the future. I know it will, in fact. I don't know how I know, but I know it will. And you just hear like a very soft sort of like, well, you're back. And you see this aged halfling, like Sienna looks like a grandma, like just white hair, wrinkled skin, like the braid there. But she's still got a big smile, big rosy cheeks, got a lute in her hands, just plucks a note, like a couple, like almost like she's tuning it. And she's just like, I felt my sister come back. Well, 2 to go, I suppose, and then me, of course. You won't have any trouble with me, though. I'll go gladly, but I want to wait until they're all here. If that's okay.
Of course.
Good. Was it all right? Was Valena of sound mind? Was she okay?
She was. Working hard.
That
very
sounds like
hard.
her, yes.
Protecting us all, giving us a weapon for the future and hope for, well, a fallback, really. I'm worried we didn't have the time to thank her, though.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that. What was it? A good craftsman doesn't require thanks, but just to see what they've made used, that's thanks enough.
We'll use it. We're definitely going to use it.
Oh, I have no doubt. I believe. Apologies, I do like to keep an eye on things while you're away. When you return to your Sky City, Horizon, is it?
Yeah.
You sent out some companions to search for Kalara's knights. I believe they found them.
Oh.
Okay.
My sister is deep in the woods. The knights, I believe, hold her demiplane. She will probably be your next challenge, unless you wish to go and stop Atelicus's beasts. I still don't know where he is, but his beasts will likely cause damage if they're left undisturbed. But Kalara, I think your agents have found.
Excellent.
something to consider for the future. But take a moment. I know that I know there are pressing matters. There are lives in the stake, in the balance, but you are our champions. We need you to be of sound mind and body.
She kind of looks at Lucius when she says that.
You need to be prepared. So take time to rest. Take time to make sure you are ready for these next steps. Don't rush into it. I'm afraid, Captain, I do like, this is a very fitting form. I'm afraid my powers are long gone. I can't help you get back your old body.
Oh,
If that was something you were thinking of, but I'm afraid
no. Wasn't thinking that. Totally fine.
I think it's dashing.
Well, thank you. Not very many mirrors.
Oh, would you? The least I can do is conjure a little mirror. I've still got enough power in me.
Are my feathers in place?
Yes, but I think you should have a look.
And she'll strum her lute, and a kind of like a purple. It'd be more like rose pink mist kind of. Whoof, and this very elaborate vanity mirror, like a tall, full-length body mirror, kind of emerges. Little hearts carved into the corners, like very cutesy, but it kind of conjures and remains in place.
Oh well, all very sudden. There I am again.
And this is probably your first time properly like seeing you fully, because like
Last time I was panicked.
yeah,
It was like a dash into the.
it was like the
captain's
water as well. Yeah,
quarters.
you don't have like a full-length mirror kind of thing.
Well,
There you are.
What do you think?
it's
I think the outfit looks amazing. It transformed very nicely.
I
to your
don't know
figure.
how it all fits, but I'm glad it did. Mm-hmm. For the forge, it's very important.
And the
that-
gauntlet too.
Can I go?
yes.
Can I go up to Lucius and just pluck one of his feathers? out?
Oh,
I mean,
And
you
then-
can. It's
and
like
then-
ow. It's like yeah. Whoa.
And then I'm
that
gonna
really hurts.
tie it into. I've got one of Quill's feathers in my hair that I've tied to like beads and
nice.
stuff, and I want to add one for Peacock Lucius
Yeah.
to
It's
it.
great. It's bigger than quills. Like the feather, it's longer.
I'm gonna be like,
Oh.
just because I don't ever want to forget how hilarious this moment is
Right.
to me.
I don't need the
So-
mirror anymore, thank you.
Sayana just she plucks another note and it vanishes.
We have more pressing matters.
You do, but take some moment. Also, you were very lucky. What was it? I wish I were a birdie.
I don't want to say the W word again.
Could have been very bad.
Yeah, it was close. It was close.
Well, you'll be pleased to know mother is well. She is regaining her strength. But I'm
And
glad
how
you
are
came.
you?
She kind of just gestures at herself like,
I know I look bad, but halflings and I'm not a halfling, but I'm sort of based on halflings, and they do tend to live a while. I've got to bring a bit of spring in my step still, but I'm just my magic and my divine powers are long gone. I'm sort of just a very talented bard now.
I just wanted to thank you for helping me and Thalia.
You're more than welcome.
She's cured now. She's no
Oh, I
curse.
know.
She survived.
I can't think of a better end to a love story.
she'll smile. But yeah, we will end things there. You guys can head back to Horizon. I got a lot of stuff I need to think about and plan. But yeah, that's going to be that for that episode.
Yeah, just got to go chase down Kalara next, and all of her. What was it? Night of the
Grief.
Blackened Rose.
Grief Knights.
Ebon Rose, Knights of the Ebon Rose.
Ebon. Oh,
Grief Knights?
that's going to be spicy.
Yeah.
And also,
Grief
we have to
Knights.
tell everyone about. Oh, hey, take a look at this.
This cocky boy.
Yep.
Winged Admiral, sharpish.
Yeah, that's actually something you guys probably do. Yeah, don't have to be next week, but like you need to. So because again, this is D&D. We want you guys on the Stormchaser doing cool adventuring stuff and hero stuff, right? And the Stormchaser's going to be able to go places and be the Normandy. You need to pick who is going to be in charge of the Astoria, because it does need a commander.
I have a suggestion, but I don't know if I should bring it up next week.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Save it for next week. Have a think about it,
Yeah.
and we can talk about it out of off stream. But like, absolutely, like we can reveal that next one. I know. Luckily, it's Laurie, and I'm just gonna be like, Laurie, sorry, you got to stick around because we got to read some donations. We ran a little 5 minutes late, but
First, outro.
oh yes. So thank you very much for watching us. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.